The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
This is a tasty burger.
What cheeseburger? What Betsy?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Put any mayonnaise on it, come over your house, chop your legs off, set your house on fire, and watch as you drag your bloody stumps out of your house. Okay?
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Today is National Cheeseburger Day.
Got it.
Happy National Cheeseburger Day.
It's showtime.
That's just great. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show here on National Cheeseburger Day. I'd sure like to celebrate with everybody and all of y'all, but I'm all done with cheeseburgers or any other kind of meat or cheese ever again. I'm a vegan now.
I don't believe
Get
you.
out of here.
I don't believe you.
This is the new me.
You would have mentioned this over and over and over again.
I didn't.
And you would have judged us.
I didn't make this decision until yesterday.
Just yesterday?
Yesterday was my birthday, and I took a long look at myself, and I made the mature decision to become a vegan.
You know what?
Why can't I be a vegan?
My colon has been really cocky lately, so maybe I need to become a vegan. I can't mix meat and cheeses. That's going to mess with me.
Yeah. I took a look in the mirror cubby, and I've decided to make some changes. I'm a vegan, so I'm strictly committed to turkey burgers from here on out.
Oh, you can't do that.
Why can't I have a turkey burger?
You're the worst vegan I've met today.
I just started. I haven't even been a vegan for 12 hours.
No, you haven't been a vegan at all.
How? Why?
You can't eat meat products.
Oh, what?
Or I should say animal products.
Oh, animal products.
Whatsoever.
So I can't even have a turkey burger.
No. Do you want a milkshake? Do you like milkshakes?
I do.
You can't have one.
I can't have a milkshake?
Yeah, maybe almond milkshake.
Yeah.
What the hell is almond milk?
You're honestly...
I'm off to a bad start.
No offense, but you suck as a vegan.
I suck as a vegan.
Yeah.
How do you milk almonds?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you how to milk a little almond.
Yeah. You got some nuts you want to milk over there,
All right, well, I'll work on this. Maybe I'm not fully committed to being a vegan yet. Maybe I don't understand what I'm saying yet. Because I thought I could just go to turkey burgers and chicken sandwiches.
When's the last time you had a turkey burger?
Oh, God, it's funny you bring that up. Because I was just hanging out with this dude recently who showed me what a turkey burger is. I bet it's been 20 years. But here's the funny thing, Josh. He and I were sitting at a bar 20 years ago. He was trying to cut some weight, So for lunch, he says, I'm just going to get a turkey burger. And I said, I've never tried one of those. I made a little bit of fun of him. Like we bros do to each other.
Yeah, you got to bust chops.
Right. I said, what's the matter with you? And he said, I'm trying to dump some weight. So he ordered a turkey burger. And out of a show of solidarity, I didn't want to make the guy feel feel funny about it. I was busting his balls. So I ordered one too. And I really friggin' liked it.
You did?
I really, really did. And then I never ordered maybe some of you are saying, well, you must not have liked it that much. You haven't ordered one in 20 years. It's true. I really, really liked it. And I told myself, I'm going to sneak one of these in once in a while when I'm out to dinner. I never went with one ever again. But there's no real rhyme or reason behind that because I thought it was terrific.
It's probably been over a decade for me, too.
God help us.
I can't say I'm a huge fan, but maybe I should try one again. Has anyone tried the Beyond Burger, the fake meat burger?
Yes.
Does it taste like meat like everyone says, kind of, only?
Yeah, it depends on what brand you get, I feel like.
Well, were they selling them at Burger King, I thought?
Yeah.
Well, isn't Beyond Burger the brand? I'm not talking about just a veggie burger. Beyond Burger itself.
Well, I feel like there's a bunch of those brands that make those type of patties.
Yeah, I agree. I was talking specifically about the Beyond Burger one. Like
that
Burger King has a Beyond Burger. At least they did.
Yeah,
I remember.
I wasn't a fan.
You didn't like it?
No, I'll stick to the real stuff.
I remember, hearing something about Burger King was going to make a Whopper with that whatever the hell is in a Beyond Burger. Yes, Wapple.
At Red Robin, we had a Boca Burger.
Oh,
yeah, we
I
used
don't
to
know what
serve
that
those
means.
at the Good Earth.
We vegans don't believe in that.
No, you do believe in that.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a tofu burger, I think. And boy, did they smell bad. They smelled like a fart.
Oh!
Yeah, when
I
you
don't
would
want
make-
a fart
yeah,
burger.
When you would make it, it just smelled like a fart.
You smell like a fart
Same with the steamed broccoli. That smells like a fart, too.
with your little almonds over there.
Maybe you meant Vulcan. Are you just wise and stoic this morning? Did you mean Vulcan?
I got
like
into
from
the,
Star Trek?
I got into the beer yesterday. I'll be totally honest with you, on my birthday. And maybe that was it. Maybe I decided to be a Vulcan. Because the last 6-8 hours of yesterday are kind of a blur.
I was going to text you Saturday. I had a singular beer on Saturday. And usually I like to text you if I sin.
You had a singular beer.
Yes, I did. 1 12-ounce beer.
Well, yeah, you sinner, you.
Yeah, more like an 11-ounce. I left a sip in there.
Well, you know, that's,
I didn't want to be a pig.
that last ounce is like backwash anyway.
Yeah, I've got to count my macros.
Usually you do text me whenever you have a beer.
Yeah, I came real close.
This was Saturday night?
Saturday night,
I
yeah.
would have been proud of you.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm proud of you no matter what.
That's nice of you to say.
Because I love you.
The feeling is more than mutual. Did you have a nice birthday?
Oh, sure, yeah. Had a little breakfast. Then spent all day yesterday doing show prep, of course. You know how much fun
that's
that
how
is.
it goes the day before
And
show.
then I had a pizza pie and even a piece of cake. And then I fell unconscious into bed.
I was yesterday. I know I'm going to sound elite here, and I don't know how to not sound like a douchebag, but I went to Costco as a executive member.
Oh, that's true.
And I was going to buy you a cake, and I thought, you know what? I bet he is caked out at this point.
Dude.
I saw you got a lot of treats on Friday.
I did. Dana bought me all kinds of Little Debbie snack cakes and whatnot, and then my sister and her kid came over yesterday, and they brought me Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. You know, because everyone knows I'm a sweets addict now. So I've got 4 or 5 boxes of cupcakes and whatnot. Now you don't. I'm almost glad you didn't get me a cake. I got enough sugar to eat over the left. By the time the boat cruise happens on Friday, I'm going to be a pig, just a big.
Gained 5 pounds this week.
You're going to diabetes or something. The Impossible Burger is, people are saying that's the one that's more like me.
Yeah.
Impossible Burger.
Yeah, I have not tried that.
You had a nice day on Saturday getting out on the boat.
I went on a boat ride Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a nice weekend. I went on a boat ride. Nobody out there anymore. It's kind of nice.
Oh, I love this time of year.
Yeah, a lot of folks have put the boats away. So I had a chick with me. I even let her drive the boat.
Really?
Whoa.
She's not very good at it, but I felt confident in letting her take over the helms. You know, there was nobody else out there.
Yeah, once you were in the middle of the lake, right?
Yeah.
So I'd imagine the bikini count was pretty disappointing.
Dude, 0. yeah. That time of year's come and gone.
What's this girl you brought? Did she wear a bikini?
No, hell, it was 58 degrees when we got out there.
Typical vegan.
Yeah, I know. No, it was kind of chilly. So we did that, and then I went out to Excelsior to their town party, had a good time, ran into some friends. Can I read the text that you sent me yesterday, Josh?
Oh, I don't know. Can you?
I'll alter it.
Yeah, you'll
as
have
best
to
I
clean
can.
it up, I think.
This was maybe the highlight of my day yesterday because I'm over at the house doing all the show prep while you guys don't do anything. And I got a text from Josh. Well, I got a lot of birthday texts from people. It was nice. Where the hell? Here it is. Josh just got a new motor vehicle, in case you don't know.
He did.
He did.
Looks badass.
Oh, thank you.
And Josh texted me yesterday. Well, this was last night, actually. Like I said, I got into the beer last night. Josh texted me, and it says, in the manual for my new motor vehicle, he says, there should be a warning about how much ass I'm going to get.
He did clean that up very well.
You really think that you're going to be hauling it? I don't doubt it, because that vehicle you got is very nice and shiny, and it looks like it's powerful and all the things that drag in hot mamas.
Yeah, I'm going to redneck it up this week, too.
Nice.
And I can't wait to get that going.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
It is pretty.
And also, it's very classic Josh that you were reading the manual of the car, too.
I read the whole thing yesterday.
I was not surprised that's how the text started. No.
Yeah, I read, and that was actually 3. And there was accompanying videos.
Oh, videos.
Yep. All of it. I did everything.
Cover to cover on the manual.
Tells me when I get a new car, first thing you do is sit down and go through the manual, so you know everything about the car.
Oh, I spent a lot of time in that thing, too, setting it all up.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff's fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a good time. I wouldn't blame anyone, women or men, to be extra attracted to you, Josh, when you're driving that new vehicle.
I'll take anything at this point.
It's a pimp-ass ride. Yeah, me too. Here's a text from offended millennial Jesus. He thinks he knows what I got for my birthday yesterday. He says, a computer and a new car. Thanks, Mom and Dad. That's the lead up to one of my favorite bits of all time when Kelly is telling us about shoes.
Shit.
A lot of folks don't remember that part of the bit. They remember Kelly shopping and talking about shoes. These shoes suck. These shoes rule. These shoes are $500. Let's get them. They don't think about the lead up. The reason why Kelly wanted to go buy all those shoes is because her twin brother got a computer and a car for their birthday. And she got a stuffed animal. She was pissed. That's why she had to go buy shoes. What time is it? What time is it?
5:53.
All right.
Well, I moved all weekend, and I'm afraid that one of the neighbors is gonna be a problem neighbor.
You have just moved.
I bet all your neighbors are afraid of the same thing, but they're new neighbors.
See, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe.
Are you sure you want to start lighting up your neighbors on day one?
I don't know. One of me and the boyfriend's dogs was outside in the backyard. It's fenced in, and her dog was out, and so they were just saying hi, saying what's up, smelling each other's butts through the fence, and I guess my boyfriend went out there and went and grabbed the dog, just to be nice and friendly, and was trying to talk to her, and she was just completely ignoring him, wouldn't say a single thing back to him, and I was like, well, she hates us. That's just what it's gonna be.
Well, maybe she's deaf.
Oh, I guess that's a possibility.
Maybe she hates you.
Yeah,
I
think what it is?
Assume she hates us. Yeah, but there's 4. I technically have 4 neighbors, so 1 out of 4. That's pretty good. If only one doesn't like you,
but you haven't
right?
even met the others, I imagine, at this point,
I'm
have
just
you?
gonna assume they're gonna like me.
Well, we warned you, didn't we, Josh?
Yeah, we told her.
We
for example,
warned you.
over the weekend I had to shop for a new dishwasher. And you're going to be there where you get all these unexpected surprises. I had the repair guy out, and he said it's going to cost about $100 more for me to fix than it would be for you to get a new one.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
How is that even possible? That's dumb.
Yeah, that's the fun part of home ownership.
I will say the one thing that I definitely recommend everybody to do, especially if you're moving with a significant other, to avoid fights, is get people to move for you. That eliminated so many fights that I knew were bound to happen because you're arguing, you're carrying heavy stuff. Oh, it was so less stressful with having people to move.
You mean you hired a company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed it too.
My wife is the worst at moving. The absolute worst. You know how beautiful it is when you're moving with someone, you don't have to say a word. You guys, you pick the correct angles.
Yeah.
You know when to lift a little higher or let it down a little bit. She does not have that skill. Honestly, it's baffling. It's baffling that she can't figure it out.
Does she just hit corners the whole time?
No, but she did hit her nose pretty good and almost busted it.
Oh,
She had to go to urgent care.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, she admits that she's terrible at it. And, a lot of people don't do that in the silliest of ways.
Well, maybe, how sometimes men will pretend to be really bad at, doing laundry or something so that their wife will have to do it. Maybe that's what she's doing with you. She's pretending to suck at moving.
Son of a bitch, you might be right.
Yeah. You got conned, dude.
I never considered that.
Darn.
That's a far way to go to almost destroy your nose. To
Dude, moving
be
sucks.
I'm bad at moving.
I'd do it to get out of the next move.
Yeah.
Moving is the absolute worst.
It's always worse than you think it's going to be.
Yes, every time.
Like painting. Painting. If you haven't painted in a while, you think, I could probably do that.
You can't.
And then you realize there's a reason people do this for a living because they can handle it. I can't.
I did that also this past weekend, and I painted the living room.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Well, if you get it done, then you don't got to worry about it. And so I painted for so long that towards the end, my arm was like shaking. Like I was about to drop the paintbrush. I was like, okay, I need to stop.
I tried it once 25 years ago. I'll never do it again.
My girlfriend said I was bad at it, and I'm like, how can you be bad at painting?
You got to go
She
in a
says
W.
you're bad at a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a theme.
Yeah, we're starting to learn that she's not very kind to you. Well, I got a text from a listener here that has an answer as to why your new neighbor, Ashley, was avoiding you or ignoring you and your boyfriend. And this makes perfect sense. Listener says she's a listener. Whereas if me, Dana, Wapple, or Josh would have moved in, she would have said, "Hello, my name is Lorraine. How can I possibly make your life easy?" You moved in, she's not having any of it.
She locks her doors now.
I met a bunch of my neighbors over the weekend. They had a neighborhood block party.
Oh, cool.
And there was a couple uncomfortable moments. The first was before the party even started. I talked to a different neighbor that I know a little bit. And I was like, hey, you headed to the party tonight? He's like, what party?
Oh, no.
Like, there's like I thought there was, then I had to feign ignorance a little bit. Like, I thought I heard there was a neighborhood party this weekend. I'm thinking, son of a bitch!
There's a televised dance party on MTV tonight, and I thought we could watch it from separate houses.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh no, I didn't know anything about it, but he was going to a Loons game. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why. But they were on the guest list, so I felt a little better afterwards.
He just had gotten word.
But the problem is because my only recent experience was shopping for a dishwasher, I ended up talking about dishwashers with some people that I never met, and I'm pretty sure they're
You trapped them in a dishwasher conversation, didn't you?
I did, yes. I did.
Oh, great party.
Yeah, you guys heard about steam cycles? It was new to me.
A friend of mine once drug a cooler full of beer down the street to a neighborhood party, and when he got there, he realized it was some kind of anti-drinking event.
Oh, really?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's dragging
no.
a cooler of beer on wheels behind him. He was just, he sees this, he knew a lot of his neighbors, not all of them. But he sees this kind of gathering in a driveway and spilled out onto the street. They'd put cones out in the road, so traffic, he's like, oh, cool, a neighborhood party. So he loaded up a cooler of beer on wheels. He drug it down there, and it was some kind of anti-drinking, dare. It was like a dare event.
Oh.
Yeah, and they had the teenage kids were
Were they understanding?
Well, yeah,
Or were
I
they
mean,
jerks about
it was one guy kind of pulled him aside and said, you're sitting here sucking on an old Milwaukee. This is a freaking, like a dare party. They had the teenage kids out there making vows to never drink. It was just yeah. So it was,
no.
Luckily, not everyone noticed that he had a cooler full of old Milwaukee, but one guy said, yeah, you might want to wheel that back home. This is a dry event,
That same thing happened to me once. My ex and I, we had just moved into a new building, and we were taking the dog for a walk, and we see this other building across the street, down the street had the big outdoor gathering. There's people hanging out, grilling, playing bags and stuff. And I go, well, we got back. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm just going to take a 12er. I'm going to walk over there and introduce myself to everybody. And, welcome in the neighborhood kind of thing. And I'm carrying the 12er of beer, and I'm about to get up. I'm walking up the lawn, and this woman comes running up. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I just came to say hi. And they're like, come to find out that it was a sober living community for people that had just got out of rehab.
Oh,
Dana's like, I got the beer for everyone.
I know, and I felt so like I wanted to crawl in the hole and die, and I just turned around like held the beer, like I was like bear hugging it, so like nobody could see it, and it just like ran away as fast as possible. It felt so stupid.
Oh my gosh! Like, this isn't mine. No.
It's a bring your own, right? This is just for me.
You were just trying to be neighborly.
Yeah. Iowegian Bank Marketing Jesus has checked in on the topic of pretending you don't know how to do something so you can get out of it.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
And I bet at everyone's workplace they know people like that. There's people like this in this building that could easily figure something out, but they pretend they don't know and then they never get asked.
That's
right?
a brilliant move. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, so no one will ask you to do it ever again. What'd he say?
He said that is called weaponized incompetence.
So good. That's a fancy way to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a dude, a friend of mine once, who his workplace bought up, 20, 25 tickets to a Twins game a few years ago. So the boss comes out in the warehouse and says, next Thursday night, I got everybody loaded up with tickets. We're all going to the Twins game.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice gesture, right, by the boss?
Yeah.
The boys and gals in the warehouse were like, it's about time this cheap prick did something or not. So he heads out to the game. He's sitting in the section with all of his coworkers, and he turns to a couple of them and says, Jesus, what's a guy got to do to get a beer up here? I haven't seen a beer guy all night long. The boss bought him tickets in the family section. There's no alcohol in the family section.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
He walked out of there and never came back.
Yep.
I'd go find a new seat.
What's a guy got to do to get a friggin' cold one up here? Yeah, well, this is the no. The boss didn't want, to encourage drinking and carrying because he knows that any boss knows you get enough hooch amongst coworkers, someone's ass is going to get grabbed, someone's going to punch someone in the mouth like a Christmas party, like a company Christmas party. So it's National Cheeseburger Day, you said, huh, Cubby?
That's right.
I got a couple of facts here for you on National Cheeseburger Day. Well, by damn. The Carnegie Museum of Natural History. Anyone, did your grade school take a tour of the Carnegie Museum of Natural History? Anybody?
We did not.
They credit the invention of the cheeseburger to a 16-year-old kid named Lionel Sternberger. He worked in his daddy's sandwich shop, and he added a slice of cheese to one of his dad's hamburgers and called it a cheeseburger.
Oh.
Cheese hamburger. That's how it started. And I was very curious as to when. I had all kinds of guesses. I don't know. 1763, 1899, 1924.
Oh, so we're coming up next year will be the 100th anniversary of the cheeseburger.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
I will not be
Restaurants
taking.
will do something fun with that.
I won't be taking part in that at all.
No, it's against.
It's against
you being a vegan who has very little knowledge about what a vegan is.
1924. All the kid did was throw a piece of cheese on top of his dad's hamburger, and by God, he lived the rest of his life comfortably, surrounded by women of loose morals, I imagine. Old Lionel Sternberger. And the most expensive cheeseburger? No. What does this say? The largest commercially available. What does that even mean? I thought this meant most expensive. What am I saying here? Someone tell me. It says the largest commercially available burger costs $10,000. Oh, I see. It's a massive burger. Mm-hmm. The size of it. An 1,800-pound burger?
That's a lot of burger
like
right
a
there.
little bite.
I completely misunderstood what I was reading here, even the first 4 times I read it.
I have,
the largest burger, and you can purchase it, is an 1,800-pound burger. It costs $10,000. It's available at a place called Mally's Sports Bar and Grill in a town called Southgate, Michigan.
I have a burger that costs $6,000.
You have a burger?
Well, I just looked up the world's most expensive burger.
Oh. Thought maybe you had it in the back seat of your car or something.
That's the way you made it sound.
I thought you were going to roll it in here for us.
I've made a lot of bad investments, and that's one of them.
There you go.
I wonder how many pounds. I wonder if I could get through a pound of that 1,800-pound cheeseburger.
I bet you could put it down a pound of burger, Josh.
Oh, definitely.
Well, because that'd be like 4 quarter-pounders, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing my math right.
That's
Yeah.
100% correct.
Yeah, we got a quarter, and then we add a quarter. That's
That sounds pretty massive.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do. I probably could do 4 quarter.
Yeah, I could picture you put down a pound of burger, Josh.
Most I can do is usually just a half a pound burger, and that's pushing it.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, I had the best one this past weekend. And this is not a paid advertisement from the Butcher's Tale. Gosh, that place knows how to make meat.
Now,
do.
you know that Nick's a vegan. Why would you?
I don't know why you're so insensitive.
It's like bringing beer to a sober party.
Right.
Actually, I wanted to tell you guys this. Have you ever tried bone marrow?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the texture, but I had bone marrow with snail caviar on it
Oh my
because
gosh.
I'm fancy. Actually, really good. You guys need to try it.
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
And you got to meet my hot friend Josh.
Yeah, yep. I met your
Not
friend.
other hot friend Josh. I have two hot Josh friends. Or I mean Jake, excuse me.
I'm a man.
He's not that good of a friend.
I was thinking Josh. I said yeah.
Yeah, he gave me the rundown. He says he misses you, Dana.
Oh, I miss him too. But not enough to remember his name on the radio.
That is pretty funny.
I didn't like that.
You know, I got to say, I've been in that situation with someone who is very close to me, and for whatever reason, nerves being put on the spot, I've said the wrong name.
It's the worst.
I've done that.
I'm going to be dishing out some bone marrow at that boat party on Friday night, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get a shot at my bone marrow Friday night. We're leading up to the Fall Booze Cruise. Takes place this Friday night. I see we have some passes before we get out of here this morning. Because, you know, the sumbitch is sold smooth out. The brother and sisterhood pounced on this pig.
Yeah, thank you for
And
that.
sold it out before we could say Jack Robinson. But we still have a handful of passes we can give away, so be listening for that. I mean, we better put on some strong shows this week, or the people who bought a ticket on that boat might just kick our asses when they see us on Friday.
Thanks for wasting my time this week, dickheads.
Right. So be listening for your chances at some passes on the boat.
And
That's
hopefully
at
there's
the
some
end of the
vegan
week.
options on Friday from
There-
Lucky's
They
13.
better be, or I'll just kind of be scooping river water into my mouth.
That's your only
just
option.
to nourish myself.
Although there could be little bits of fish in there,
Yeah,
so you're going to have
that's
to
not gonna
rethink
work.
this.
Well, the earth can nourish me somehow if they don't have vegan options on that boat. Are you ready to roll, everybody?
Yeah.
Geez, Monday. It's nice to have everyone on board. We'll take a break and come back before you know it on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
The Gen Zers, you know, they love to be Gen Z, are calling Margot Robbie mid. On what planet is Margot Robbie a mid? Who's judging this? Are women judging it? The people with the forward haircuts?
Yeah. Don't bring my people into this. The people with the foreheads, babe.
We all agree that she's a 10?
Yes. Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. What a terrific crowd we got out there. Josh, I want to thank you for something right from the get-go here.
What did I do?
I want to thank you for introducing me to Grace, the drunk stripper from Ohio.
Yes, she's a good lady to know.
She doesn't know this yet, but the two of us are now in love. Me and Grace, the drunk stripper from Ohio. A body cam kind of a setup, a cop's body cam footage introduced me to Grace before Josh had the chance. And Grace is now the love of my life. The video of the interaction between Grace and a cop in Ohio has gone mental on the internet. Even though it happened way back in April, these things just tend to take off. For God knows what reason, these videos become wildly popular. Grace is 20 years old. The age difference between she and I does not matter to me. But she did F up pretty badly. She's driving her motor vehicle. She crashes into another vehicle, and then she took smooth off down the road, and a cop saw it all. He followed Grace. He learned that she had several felony warrants.
Ooh.
That is so hot. That's sexy to me, that she had several felony. Does that turn into? I like a bad girl. I like the bad girls, Cubby. I do.
Well, she fits the bill.
Cop eventually pulls her over, and that's where things went sideways, and that's where the video became interesting, and everyone seems to be talking about it. In the cop's body cam video, she appears visibly drunk. She slurs her words. She's making very little sense. When the cop ordered her out of the car so he could handcuff her, she declared that she is a, quote, white female. I'm not sure where she's going with that.
I mean, he's able to see.
Mm-hmm. When the cop asks if she has anything on her, she giggles and suggestively says that the cop should, quote, search her real quick. She denied drinking and driving, but later admitted that she dumped 2 double shots of Patron tequila while at a friend's house. And then she changed her mind and said she had 3 double shots of tequila.
That might do it.
Most folks would have gone the other way with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most folks would change their mind and say, oh, no, I actually had 0 shots of... She decided to add 1.
Yeah, I think I'd get down to the point where I pretended I didn't even know what tequila was. Tequila? What's tequila?
Tell me more.
I have to admit that her honesty is something that's drawn me to her as well. She tried to sweet-talk the cop at first by calling him a, quote, handsome man. Cop wasn't interested in that kind of talk. At one point, she asked the cop to fetch her clothes and leftover dinner out of her car before it got towed away. She says, get my steak with asparagus and mashed potatoes. I need that. She did get even more snippy at times. When the cop asked her if she has insurance on her car, she got fresh and said, what do you think I am? Some broke-ass hoe? She wouldn't tell the cop her address. She bizarrely claimed that the cop was a bouncer at the strip club that she works at. She spit on another cop who showed up to help out. She yelled things that make no sense, like, you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know how many girls have been captured to take to Atlanta.
Yokie dokie.
Oh, she threatened to pee on a cop's face.
Some people pay extra for that.
Nick, you got nothing to say about that?
It's hot. That's what I have to say about that. Then she peed her pants in the back of the cop car. She said she couldn't help from doing that. That was out of her control. She wasn't terribly cooperative. How do you say it?
Cooperative?
Right. She wasn't terribly cooperative at the police station. She dared the cops to tase her. She said, you want to tase me? Do it. I like it. I like it kinky. You want more quotes from my new lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point she said, you're going to rape me. Stop trying to rape me.
Yokie dokie again.
She claimed the cops were trying to, quote, take her down to Mexico.
Like Cancun. I mean, one of the hot spots.
She's been charged with all kinds of things, including stealing
your heart.
My little blackened heart. Yes, she did. What a character, this Grace, the drunken stripper in Ohio.
She has fun, doesn't she?
Sure seems like it. It'd be an adventure hanging out with her. There's no doubt about that.
I'd be a little nervous.
I'll pee on your face, she said. Where's that video? Up on our website?
Yep.
I mean, I know what she's going through, being the object of people's affection, in my case, being a bit of a bad boy. I deal with that.
Hey, Ashley.
Yeah?
Just for fun, because I think this will play out nicely. I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to say, is that video up on our website? And you say, yeah, who do you think you're dealing with here? A broke-ass hoe? Okay, you ready? Hey, Ashley, is that video of Grace, the drunken stripper in Ohio, is it up on our website?
Yeah, of course. What do you think? I'm a broke-ass hoe?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think you're a broke-ass hoe. I don't think.
Broke? Yes.
Yeah.
Hoe? No.
Sometimes.
That's great.
Had there been hoe tendencies in the past?
At times.
Perhaps.
All right.
As social anxiety Jesus says, after looking her up, she's pretty high on the crazy/hot matrix.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Everyone here seen that video before?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe no, but I've heard the conversation behind it before. I like Grace's midriff bearing shirt. Here's a listener who says you should check out Mug Shotties. Mug Shotties, MUGSHAWTYS on Instagram.
We talked about this probably like 4 years ago. It was a really long time ago because
It's hot ladies who've been arrested?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
And I only know this because whenever I'm on our half-ass morning show Instagram, that's one of the pages we follow. And so it'll just be like,
oh, really?
Sports, really hot girl in prison. Sports.
That's our old producer Ross, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Did that.
I appreciate the heads up from the listener. Yes, I have heard of it. The spelling kind of threw me at first. Mug Shotties? Is that how I say it?
Like hottie.
Like
H-A-W.
hottie.
Like she's a hottie.
I'm so old now that I don't understand. Josh is now scrolling through pictures of women who have made the website Mug Shotties. And yeah, hot ladies have been incarcerated a time or two. Not just
what they call caged heat.
Yeah. I remember when I would find those late night Cinemax caged heat type prison movies when I was a kid, I would say, that would never happen in real life. All those hot women in prison. It's happening. Did your uncles have the Caged Heat series on VHS back in the day, Josh?
Not that I'm aware of.
My neighbor's dad had all the Caged Heat porno movies. He had them stacked up and ready to watch at all times. All right, apparently there was some kind of cyber attack in Las Vegas. Were you guys aware of the Las Vegas cyber attack?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about this a little bit.
You did? Mm-hmm. Here's what the story says. The cyber attack started at the beginning of last week. Some guests staying in town couldn't get into their rooms or check in. And then it somehow effed with the casino slot machines, and the phone lines went down and all kinds of other garbage. It was a cyber attack. Apparently it's all over now, but at least I think it is.
I believe so, yeah.
The story is there was a topless joint in town that made visitors feel better about dealing with this massive pain in the ass by dumping some free lap dances on them. Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Las Vegas. I spent a good, 10 consecutive hours at the Larry Flint's Hustler Club in New Orleans one night.
Nice place?
Beautiful place. That's where our old coworker Doug, he brought a lady to the club, and I ended up having to yell at her. Do you remember that story?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I miss Doug.
Yeah, Doug was fun.
I also miss his ponytail.
He had the most adorable little blonde ponytail you've ever seen in your life.
It was beautiful. He had it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like when Metallica cut their hair. Oh, boy, people were upset when he cut that ponytail.
Yeah.
People get so mad when
he lost
dudes will cut their
fans in
long
this
hair.
building. Yeah, they do. He lost fans here.
He had a cute little ponytail. Sometimes his bangs would fall into his eyes.
Oh, would he just like wisp them away?
Yeah.
Hot blonde.
Tuck him behind his ear.
Oh, wow.
Tuck
He's
his
a hot
bang.
blonde.
When you pull on that ponytail, he would fart. I can tell you that. I'll tell you that story where I had to yell at a lady at the Larry Flint. How do you call
Flint?
his name? Larry Flint Hustler Club. I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, so Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Vegas hooked up folks who were staying specifically at a joint called MGM Resorts. If you were staying there during this cyber attack, the Hustler Club gave these folks free airport pickup, a complimentary $1,200 platinum VIP membership,
Dude,
and lap dances on the house. There was another club down there, over there in Vegas, called Strip Club Concierge. I think that's the name of the joint. They saw a massive boom in traffic when the, cyber attack happened. strippers were bringing in $2,000 more per night than they normally do. Well, that makes sense. You can't get into your room. You can't play the slot machines. You can't place any bets. Go get some 22-year-old topless girls to dance around in a circle for you.
Yep. What else are you going to do?
Exactly.
So, damn, I mean, for those of you who like that whole let's go to Vegas gimmick, I'm not into it at all. I went there once, and I'm good for life. But if you're one of these folks who loves to go to Vegas, next time you go, say a little prayer that there will be a cyber attack.
We just went the one time as well. I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know people that go every year.
Mm-hmm. Multiple times a year.
I'd love to go again. I went when I first turned 21, but I went with my brother and his wife at the time, so we actually gambled. I didn't get to do any of the raunchy stuff I wanted to get started.
Yeah, the raunchy stuff was fun. Don't get me wrong, but just not my. I can see raunchy stuff here in town or in Wisconsin if I want to. I'm not much for playing cards and things like that. But it was really hot too. But anyway, so one night I'm sitting at the Larry Flint's Hustler Club in New Orleans, and our old coworker Doug was also in town, and he brought a coworker with him, or I think it was one of his wife's coworkers. Anyway, he brought a lady with him. And she was one of these people who was just, no matter what the strippers did on the stripper pole, she was not impressed.
Oh, she was downplaying it because she's jealous.
And I'm sure you've been to a concert with someone who refuses to be impressed. Well, I could do that, or that's song's not that good.
So annoying.
She was just playing that role at the Boom Boom Room. And let me tell you something. These gals at the Larry Flint Hustler Club in New Orleans were risking their very effing lives for my dollar bills. They were. The ceiling in this place was, I mean, I'm no good at estimating height and things like, but I mean, this was a tall ceiling, and they're crawling all the friggin' tippy top way up to the very top of the pole and hanging from their ass cheeks. I mean, honestly, if they fall, they will absolutely be in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives. There's not a doubt. And this lady, oh, that's not that big of a deal. That's no big. I took this class. I do yoga. I can do that. I can do that. I could do that. She's not that hot. She's not that sexy.
What's the point?
And finally, I just stood up and said, "Get your ass up on stage then and shut up! If it's so easy, you friggin' do it, you idiot!" Finally, a bouncer came over and said, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sorry I blew up." And then the gal begins to cry.
Now you look like a douche.
Of course.
I could cry better than that.
Prove it right now.
Those are barely tears.
Man, these gals, again, this is the most talented group of topless women I've ever seen in my life. Hanging by a heel, hanging by a nipple ring. You know, just it was like being at, what's that show where the ropes and
Cirque du Soleil?
It was. They must have, when they were done at Larry Flint's, they must have went over and got into the Cirque du Soleil outfits and did that stuff because they were that damn good. But this lady, she wasn't. No, that's
I've
not
never
that
really
good.
understood that, why people would feel the need to criticize for absolutely no reason.
Well, she was very, very, very drunk. I was only very, very drunk.
So yeah, that extra very kind of made her a jerk.
She was in a mood, you know. We ended up having a good time. We ended up being fine, and we went at it like bunnies that night.
Wait, but Doug brought her.
No, it was just a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he already had a wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just his friend. Oh, speaking of, spinning round and round on stripper poles, how about the video of the three gals who almost smashed right through a window and down onto the street by horsing around on their in-home stripper pole? Does everyone seen that video?
It's up on 93x.com.
One of them for sure almost went out the window.
This is so good. Just the screenshot of the video is awesome.
I don't know how she didn't go out the window and landed down onto the street. These three gals, check that out on our website. These three gals are from Colorado. Maya, Mary, and Jade. They tried to take three girls at the same time. They tried to take a three girls at the same time spin on their at-home stripper pole, and their collective weight sent the pole crashing through a window. Absolutely awesome to watch.
Yeah, I think the ones that you put up at home only hold like 200 pounds or something.
That's my favorite video of the weekend.
I mean, the TV took a beating on there, too.
Yeah, that's the part that hurts me the most. And not the TV. Why would you put it up by the TV?
You got to be careful.
The first girl that goes up there, she's got some talent, though.
Yeah. Oh, she's not that great. I can do that.
Now that I'm watching it, you're right.
I took square dancing in 7th grade. I could do that. Don't they still say that the majority of accidents where folks lose limbs and whatnot happen in your own home, Ski?
I believe so, yeah. I think you're right.
Oh, I mean, I know a gal. Haven't seen her in years. She's from South Dakota, so she's a little different, this gal. Almost lost a damn leg trying to impersonate a Britney Spears music video where Britney is dancing with a folding chair.
Oh, sure.
So this gal friend of mine, she's at home. She's had a few Steve Weisers. This Britney Spears song comes on, and she gets a folding chair, and she's mimicking what she saw in the music video. But she doesn't quite have the dancing talent that Britney Spears does, and the folding chair took a big bite out of the gal's leg and broke it so badly, doctors nearly had to remove the damn thing for her.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
That's awful.
They almost said, well, they told her, you came real close to losing this wheel right here. I mean,
even worse is telling people.
She's just up in the air, and she comes down, and the folding chair just said, cock-crack, and bit into her leg, and then it broke backwards, forwards, her ankle spun all the way around.
Spiral fracture?
Yes, blood spraying out the side of an open wound.
No.
New guy in the corner. What's he doing, Wapple?
Oh, he's puking his guts out.
Puking his guts out.
I would be.
Remember when we had Cherry Bomb from Rick's Cabaret in here, one of the dancers, and she broke like more bones than the motocross guests we have in the studio.
She ended up spending an extensive amount of time in the hospital. She said she was I think she said she technically died for a little bit.
She's committed to her craft.
Oh, yeah.
She fell from the ceiling.
Yeah, I cannot believe she got back up.
Can you imagine being at the strip club and seeing something like that?
Oh, that'll ruin your night.
I would feel guilty almost. She wouldn't be up there if I wasn't in here.
You got to throw an extra buck up there, right?
At least.
Man. Well, now here's a guy, as we continue on the Stupid News Report, here's a guy who really blows at understanding the laws of driving a motor vehicle, or they're pretty picky about who they hand a driver's license to in Belgium, because this poor bastard has failed his written driver's test a smooth 12 times in a row. He's a Ghanaian man living in Belgium, just in case that information does anything for you. 12 times in a row, he got an F on his damn written test. That's over a year's worth of failed attempts, by God.
Now, I don't want to take away anybody's way of getting to work or wherever they got to go, but you almost wonder if there should be a cutoff. If you fail this many times, maybe driving's not right for you.
Mm-hmm. There absolutely should
Not
be.
for everybody. Like Ashley, it's not right for you.
You are a speed demon.
But
I've gotten better.
But at the same time, maybe, Josh, if the guy shows up 12 times in a row, and just give him a friggin' license. Just go ahead.
I'm sure just yesterday I was driving next to a guy where I think they did just give him a license.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. At least this guy, at first, he went about this honestly, and he kept trying 12 times in a row, over a year. I think at that point I'd say, close enough. Just get the hell out of here.
Especially because it's the written test.
Written test.
Yeah, maybe he just sucks at test taking.
That could be.
That's
He gets
true.
nervous. This becomes a pretty interesting story. His name is Serge. And as you can imagine, Serge was pretty damn frustrated. He had a license from his home country of Ghanaian, or whatever the hell that is.
Ghana?
Sure.
Ghana.
No, I think Nick's right. It's Ghanaian.
He comes from Ghanaian. They let him drive there. He passed all the tests in Ghanaian. But I'll be damned if the written test there in Belgium kept boning him every time he took a crack at it. So he devised a plan. And he hired a lookalike to take the test for him. First, he had to find a lookalike. he met a fella named Julian, who was also an immigrant from somewhere else living in stupid Belgium. And Julian not only looked similar to Serge, but most importantly, Julian had already claimed his Belgian driver's license. He knows, he's been there. He's gotten through it. So they decided to give her hell. The Julian takes the written test for Serge caper was a go. But it didn't work. The person working at the DVD, what do they call that place again?
DMV.
The DMV. The person working at the DMV behind the counter was suspicious right away when Julian handed over Serge's ID. I'm here to take the written test. And they looked and said, I don't think you're right. They're right. They got busted. This Serge guy's going to come effing uncorked, isn't he, at this point?
Yeah.
How's he going to get to court?
He's just going to be nude running through the streets with a set of car keys in his hand, but no car.
How many times did it take you guys?
Once.
I got it on the first time, yeah.
Yeah. I do remember the written test was the thing that made me the most nervous.
Yeah, that's when you sweat over.
Really?
Because I thought, I don't pay that much attention to the signs. I don't. I'm sorry, but so I was a little nervous thinking, boy, will I know what all these signs mean and this and that? Well, both these guys were taken into custody. That sucks. Serge is looking at a suspended sentence of 1 year behind bars.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Julian's going to be raking beaches or something. He's got 200 hours of community service just for being a nice guy and trying to help Serge get past his written test. I want to be at the keg party when Serge finally passes that friggin' test.
That'll be a wild one.
I'd like to see how, closely they resemble each other.
Yeah, me too. I wish we'd had a side-by-side thing happening.
Me too.
There.
I mean, because if it were me, I'd have to wait until after the season because my lookalike is currently the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, yeah. I know that it's an ongoing punchline for decades now that the DMV is the most miserable place in the whole world. I've never had a problem there. Everyone always says the lines are so long and I've never had a problem. That's my first statement on the DMV. My second statement is this. I saw something really interesting there years ago where I was standing there waiting to do whatever, have a picture taken of me, whatever you do over there. And there was a lady next to me who was taking some kind of I guess maybe the modern version of the written test. I don't know. Or maybe this is how we did it. I don't remember how we did it when we were young. Did they show you pictures and you had to identify what each sign meant?
Yes.
Okay, well then she was taking the same test that has always been given. There she is, standing there. Behind her is her husband. And they're going to scroll through these street signs, road signs, and she has to identify what they mean, right? So the DMV lady goes, okay, what's this one mean? And it was a stop sign. And the lady just stares at it. She has no idea. And the husband behind her goes, that means stop. And the lady at the DMV says, sir, you're not the one taking the test. Can you be quiet while your wife? And he says, yeah, sorry. So then she scrolls to the next one, and it's a yield sign. And the lady, again, has no idea what she's looking at. And the husband says, yield. And the DMV lady has to say, sir, please, you are not the one. He did it again.
Oh,
he did
awkward.
it again. The next was whatever, railroad crossing. The lady had no idea. The man says railroad crossing, and the DMV lady says, you two need to step out of line. Thank you for coming. Step out of line. I'll get back to you later. I don't know why this guy couldn't shut up.
Seriously.
Some people want everyone to know they know stuff. Maybe that's part of his deal.
He's really proud of himself that he knew what the stop sign that said stop meant.
And the yield sign that says yield.
Yeah,
yield.
for real.
Well, whatever. I'm not remembering exactly the.
And maybe I can't remember if they have the words on it. Maybe you just have to recognize.
Yeah,
if they do.
It'd probably be dumb if they left them on there, huh?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised you don't have to go back every 10 years to kind of renew it or something.
Dude, I
take a
really
quick
think people
test.
should. I think I might need to be able to, or should be able to sometimes, honestly.
That one hurt, actually.
Well, I did when I took, I passed my written exam with flying colors, but the driving test, the guy, he had driving gloves, so I was super excited that he was my driving teacher or whatever
What the
he is.
hell is he wearing driving gloves for?
That's
Why
weird.
would anyone wear driving gloves unless you're on the friggin' Formula circuit?
And he's
So
not
I thought-
driving.
So I thought, here we go. I'm gonna try to bond with him. So I like tried to nerd out with him, and that worked. And at the end, he was like being really like sad, and I was like, just tell me, because I didn't get either of my park jobs. So usually, if you hit a cone on the park job, immediate fail.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yep. So you passed by 1 point. It's like, oh, cool. And he made me do this really weird handshake. It was like from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, where you go like this to people.
Or you're
This thing,
doing like magic
Yeah,
fingers?
kind of like magic fingers. And he seemed super excited for me. And then he watched me run into my boyfriend at the time's arms and like jump and hug him. And he didn't speak to me anymore.
I did really well on my driver's test, but when I got my motorcycle license, the guy's like, well, that was not pretty, but you passed. He did not want to hand me my license.
That must have made you so confident to go out on the road on your motorcycle.
I thought I'm dead on my way home.
He goes, well, I'll give you your license, but you won't be around much longer.
Like you said-
Driving gloves.
Like you said, Ashley, I think it was 1 point that I passed that.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe don't tell me that. I don't know. I feel bad.
I feel bad for everyone else on the roadway, but here's your license.
Yeah, like,
son.
how is this legal? Are you sure? Should I test again? I don't know.
I do have to admit one thing, though, Josh.
What's that?
One night when my high school rock band was playing a gig, I did put on leather fingerless gloves to play the drums.
No.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
It was only one time.
Okay.
It was only one time.
Were they colored?
They were black leather fingerless gloves
Black.
that were apparently made for drumming. Somebody handed them to me, and I put them on, and I thought it made me look more professional. And then we used to VHS tape our shows, and I saw myself wearing stupid leather fingerless drumming gloves, and I threw them in the garbage.
Do you wear a pool glove?
Pool glove? No, but I got one.
Really?
Yes, that's funny you bring that up.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Neither had I. I bought, how do you call it, a case for my billiard cues. And I unzipped, the pocket on the side, and they had a couple pieces of chalk in there for me. Cool. And then there was this little glove, this little satin, I don't know the material.
Yeah,
it's
something soft.
something slippery and soft. You put it on your forehand when you shoot pool, Josh, so the cue slides nicely between your fingers.
Oh,
it's
nice.
silly looking.
You've tried it?
No, a buddy of mine has been using it just to look like a douche.
I think you have to be, in order for it to not to be douchey, you have to be incredibly good at pool, I think.
I bet that's still a little douchey to others playing with you.
I mean, maybe I'll start trying it more. But yeah, I had never heard of that before until I found one in my case for my billiard cues. Before we go, do you guys have those AirPods?
Yes.
Yes.
What does a person do with AirPods?
You listen to podcasts and music, 93X exclusively.
Here's a lady who accidentally swallowed one of her AirPods after mistaking it for a vitamin.
Yeah, this tends to happen for
Yeah, you
people
hear
that,
this
So
often.
that
much
don't get it.
larger. Yeah.
She's a TikTok dork from Utah by the name of Tana. Tana? It sounds to me like she was on a walk. She ran into an old friend. They got to talking like old friends do, so she wasn't paying full attention to what she was doing. She thought she'd toss a vitamin in her yap while she was jaw-jacking, but instead she deep-throated an AirPod. The friend was unable to resuscitate her. An open casket funeral is planned for this Thursday. I'm kidding. She's fine. She just has to poop it out.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here. Excuse me. It's a 10-yard penalty.
Come on! We got all kinds of NFL stuff. I'm sure Randy Shaver's going to want to bother us with, I should say, in about a half hour. Brad Ryder coming on, too. That was a little highlight from the Seattle Sea Ducks Detroit Lions game yesterday. The referee's trying to make a penalty call. The quarterback for the Sea Ducks, Geno Smith, is complaining about the call. And the ref, who's got a live mic, says, excuse me, Geno Smith, I'm talking to America.
That was funny.
That's how you shut a guy up right there. Well, here's the deal. Twins just keep on cooking. They took 3 of 4 in Chicago. yesterday. They beat the White Sox 4-rip. Sonny Gray had a great start. Edward Julian and Jorge Polanco got the dongs out, and that's all she wrote.
Took their dongs out, huh?
The ding-dongs. You know what I'm saying? The home runs. Now they start a series in Cincinnati, Josh.
Oh, I've never been to Cincinnati.
No one's ever been there.
Oh, really?
Game 1 will be televised tonight at 5:40 in the PM on Bally Sports. They're just creeping closer and closer to that division title. I'm starting to get a little antsy now. I want to have a playoff matchup in mind. I want to know who to hate. But every day it seems to change, you know what I mean? Who they might play. Toronto, Seattle, Houston, this, that, we don't know. We don't know yet. But one day we will, and it'll be pretty exciting because they're going to win this friggin' division. Like I said, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder in about a half hour. We'll get into what happened in the NFL. That Vikes game yesterday was disappointing. Coming up next, Josh's news report.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Movies, TV shows, books, podcasts, and more. It's What Women Binge with Melissa Joan Hart and her friend Amanda Lee.
Talking about the SAG strike.
A large portion of SAG lives on their residuals. When I did Nickelodeon, I, since 1993, haven't seen a dime on Clarissa. Right. And they want me to come promote it when it launches on Paramount Plus or it's back on Nickelodeon. And it's like, I would love to, but they won't pay me. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to work for free when there's no benefit for me.
What Women Binge, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
We're concerned about it. There's been this increase in possession of handguns or our youth going to handguns to settle disputes and beefs and arguments. And it's very concerning to us in law enforcement and also in the school district that that's what we're seeing in terms of a trend.
A 17-year-old boy has been arrested in connection with a threat which forced 2 Edina schools to shift to online learning on Friday. The police department said the teen was identified in a Snapchat video he took of himself in the parking lot of Edina High School Thursday afternoon. In that video, he showed a handgun with an extended magazine in his lap. It had a foul caption. At the end of the video, it showed the doors to the school.
The caption in the video said, "Come outside."
I'm still kind of shocked about it because I just don't expect something like that.
The teen then left campus but was later identified and arrested in Minneapolis. Edina PD said he isn't a former or current student at the school. The threat forced Edina High School and Valley View Middle School to shift to online learning Friday out of an abundance of caution. That investigation continues. Nice.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Nice. A longtime Long Island high school football coach was arrested in connection to a drug trafficking ring. Prosecutors said Thursday authorities uncovered a drug trafficking operation involving cocaine, crack, and fentanyl over a 9-month investigation. 49-year-old Keto Lockwood, a coach at Malvern High School, was hit with multiple weapons charges by the Nassau County District Attorney's Office, but his lawyer reportedly claimed Lockwood was caught up in the investigation by accident. He slept over at a friend's house and woke up to a police raid. The guns and weapons did not belong to the coach. Despite the allegations, Lockwood, in his 15th year as Malvern's football coach, has the support of many parents.
Outside of him being a coach, he's a role model for our kids. Yes, the accusations are bad. However, I know without a shadow of a doubt that Keto Lockwood is innocent.
Does a lot for these kids and always shows up, and that's important. Before we assume, we need to know the true facts.
His attorney said Lockwood went to watch a basketball game with a friend at their house. He had a couple drinks, decided not to drive, and then woke up to the raid.
Is that right? Well, that's interesting. I can tell you this much. I kind of wish a couple of my youth football coaches would have been on cocaine. They were so friggin' boring.
2 women face charges after police say they tossed a baby around a bar like a toy. What? Police said they responded to Coyote Ugly Saloon at 12:30 a.m. Thursday in reference to a disturbance.
Well, you guys never played baby ball at a bar?
Nah, not yet.
Oh.
According to the affidavit, a witness said the 19-year-old Brianna LaFoe and 20-year-old Sierra Newell were throwing the baby and flipping him upside down in the bar while the underage women were intoxicated. The witness who recorded the incident told police they confronted LaFoe, and apparently she grabbed the baby and screamed threats towards them. Newell, who was on the crutches, was threatening to hit bystanders. The two women threw the baby back and forth like a toy over a distance of about 4 feet, police said. A witness also stated LaFoe tried to hit them because they were videotaping the incident. They said LaFoe flipped the baby upside down by his ankles, then approached the witness and attempted to strike them with a crutch the second time. Police said when they were able to watch video from witnesses, it showed Newell sitting on the ground and LaFoe standing up while LaFoe was aggressively swinging the baby up and down and shaking him by his ankles over hard concrete. Both idiots face charges of battery and child abuse, while Newell faces charges of child abuse.
Yeah, there's a big difference between, what dads like to do, where they throw the baby up in the air and they catch them, and there's a big difference there.
You see, that's always been a pet peeve of mine. I don't know why, but I cannot stand, usually it's the dad.
Yeah.
Who has to, when you're talking to him and he's got his baby, he has to show you that I can turn the baby upside down and I can throw him up in the air. I hate that. I don't know what it is. Well, part of it, I think, is one time I ran into one of my long-lost relatives, right? And he's got this tiny little baby up on his shoulders, the gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And while we're talking to him, he's doing that stuff. He throws the baby up in the air. He's hanging it upside down by its foot. Ha, ha, ha. I'm the big guy. The baby's the little guy routine, right?
Yep.
And then he's got the baby up above. He drops it.
Oh, no.
Oof.
And I don't know how the hell he got lucky. This baby's going cranium first down towards the sidewalk, and he snatched the baby by its leg before its head hit the friggin' pavement. And someone, maybe my brother or something, said, that ought to teach you. Stop tossing your baby around like it's a friggin' ball.
Yeah, that would probably, I would be like you too if I saw something like that happen.
Maybe it's the liquor talking, but I've always been so annoyed by that bit. We get it. You're the big, strong adult, and this is a little baby. We get it.
Yeah, I've never liked doing it myself. Like all my nieces and nephews and stuff. Like I've seen my brother or their uncles throw them up in the air, and I'm just like, no, I'll keep them right by me. I don't want anything to happen.
I don't even like holding a baby, let alone I would never trust myself to throw it up and down.
Especially with that soft spot they got. I heard that's dangerous.
I've only held one baby, and I sucked at it. Yeah. Everyone in the room was laughing at me because I can't even imitate the body position. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was very paranoid that I was going to drop the damn baby.
Yeah. Same here. I'm the same way. Like when people are, do you want to hold the baby? I'm
absolutely
at this point,
not.
I'm honestly go, no, I do not want to hold the baby. I don't even trust myself holding your cell phone. I'm not going to hold a baby.
You guys have obviously never tried baby bowling. It's a blast. Then in southern Spain, a recent video shows the bizarre and unexpected moment a naked woman stumbles into a bar and destroys the entire terrace. The motive behind the aggressions are unknown, but the woman appears to have some sort of verbal disagreement with staff before picking up various chairs and tables and throwing them into the adjacent road. Yikes. A drunk naked lady going off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A Florida man was arrested after allegedly punching a window because he was drunk and mad, he said.
Drunk and mad.
32-year-old Brandon Greco was arrested shortly after 7 a.m. Saturday the 9th to be specific, and a woman who said he's the child's father, later identified as Greco, punched her window and broke it. When deputies arrived, they found him lying under a bush on the opposite side of the home's fence. He reportedly had a cut on his wrist consistent with getting angry and punching a window. After he was seen by medics and detained, he admitted to punching the window because he was drunk and mad at the woman who initially reported the incident. This story may change the way you get into your vehicle for a while. A Pennsylvania woman's accused of hiding in her ex-boyfriend's back seat before attacking him with a knife while he was leaving for work.
Dude.
According to court documents, 20-year-old Paige Lander was arrested Thursday after police were called to a home where they found a man stabbed multiple times, roughly 6 a.m. The victim told police he and Lander had dated for a few months and then broke up. He alleged she would message him to a point that he had to start blocking her. According to his account, he was leaving for work and backing out of the driveway when he noticed Lander's vehicle blocking the way. She then popped up from the back seat and stabbed him. While trying to bargain with her, he told police she said that she wanted him dead. The complaint shows he was able to get out of the car and worried that she would finish the job, but then she ran to her vehicle and drove away. Police found Lander at her home, and she was taken into custody.
This was an ex-girlfriend?
Yeah. She just wouldn't let it go.
Oh, that's scary. Do you guys ever do that to yourself? I guess put yourself in the mindset where you think there's somebody in your back seat?
No.
Sometimes I'll be like usually driving to work because it's dark out, and I'll be like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I didn't check out my back seat when I got in. Oh, well, now I can't do it now. Oh, what if someone's back there? Oh my gosh, what if someone's back there right now? And I can't get myself to check. As soon as I get to work, I'll just run inside.
Ashley, please. We're going to make a few phone calls for you when the show's over.
Yeah, I'll give you my therapist number, okay?
I can't handle listening to you crack up live on the radio.
It's the same like if you think there's a monster under your bed when you're
There
a
are
kid.
no monsters under your bed. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this.
Now, Wapple hid in your backseat once, and now you're traumatized for life by it.
Wapple hid under my car and tried to slice my Achilles tendon once.
Wapple, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I'm brutal. Watch out, guys.
Every night before she goes to bed, are there monsters under my bed? And I'm always saying to Ashley, no, there are no monsters under your bed. But you're up all night.
It's just Wapple again, that weirdo. Wapple, get out from under the bed.
Are they in the closet? No.
A Florida man was arrested Wednesday for arson after he allegedly torched a car belonging to his girlfriend and cousin, who are the same person.
No. Where's he from?
Florida. 37-year-old Melvin Cintron was caught on camera lighting his cousin and lover's Jaguar sedan on fire in front of a North Miami home.
I'll be damned.
The victim told officers she's afraid of him because he carries a fully automatic gun with a double-drum high-capacity magazine on him regularly.
Oh, he sounds like the right guy to have that weapon.
And he even has a nickname for the drums.
Lucille?
He reportedly calls the... was that a Walking Dead reference?
I have I forgot what that's a reference to. Go ahead, Josh.
He calls the 2-round drums on the sides of the magazine the gun's boobs.
He does.
He uses the T word instead. He reportedly got jealous when he thought a bartender was flirting with his cousin/girlfriend, and the two got into an argument before he torched her car.
How about all that, man? I think Lucille was a reference to, was it B.B. King or
yeah, B.B. King's guitar?
His guitar was nicknamed Lucille. Dating your cousin, just straight up first cousin.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not a lot
of
people.
Well, I guess they didn't say, I'm picturing they would have said second cousin if it was not.
Not a lot of folks have the balls for that.
Or the creativity.
Yeah.
No, they do not.
Or the lack of access to other significant others.
There's got to be one of us who's considered it. Yeah, I can tell by looking at you. There's one of us who's considered it.
My dad had a cousin that was very, very attractive.
Well, is that right?
Does that count? That counts.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Josh used to bang his dad's cousin. Josh used to bang his dad's cousin. It wasn't.
Never had the opportunity.
She's pretty hot. Like, if you could compare her to a famous female that we'd all recognize, who would she look like?
Oh,
Please say Mary Lou Henner. Please say Mary Lou Henner. Please say Mary Lou.
No, I would say Goldie Hawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you messing with me?
Like a young Goldie Hawn.
She's still single?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since 1986.
That's amazing because Goldie Hawn, gorgeous.
Prosecutors in Wisconsin say 35-year-old James Searing got high on mushrooms, lit a car on fire, stripped off all his clothes, and claimed to be an expert in magic.
Yeah, mushrooms don't do that.
According to the criminal complaint, a neighbor called 911 when he saw Searing in his driveway lighting his own car on fire. They tracked him across a large meadow, through a wooded area, into a marsh at the edge of a lake, where they found him nude and covered in yellow liquid soap.
According to the complaint, he said he was there for a bath, was a licensed psychotherapist, and was, quote, pretty much an expert in magic. He added he, quote, was trying to summon a phoenix.
Yes, he was.
Good Lord above.
Born from the ashes.
His parents told deputies he'd recently moved back home and had started a psychedelic therapy counseling service online.
Detectives searched his room and found what they believed to be, quote, a psilocybin mushroom farm in glass mason jars in a dark closet.
He was asked if he was high at the time of his arrest.
Deputies said when he asked Searing if he'd ingested any illicit drugs, he answered, quote, Nothing that should be illegal.
He's charged with lewd and lascivious behavior, attempted to manufacture, deliver of drugs, attempting to maintain a drug trafficking place, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
You know, as uncorked as this guy sounds, that is a very clever answer to the drug question.
Yeah.
Nothing that should be illegal.
A lakeside property near Pine City's up for sale.
No thanks.
And it comes with a haunted reputation.
A haunted reputation?
The former tuberculosis hospital, built in 1905, closed decades ago, but it's well known by ghost hunters for paranormal activity.
Do you think it's haunted?
I don't know. I don't know that I believe in ghosts.
Would you want to buy it?
No, because it's a mess.
It's a mess, she said. In the spring of 2022, the building was on the market for $75,000, but you missed your chance because now they want $120,000.
Well, I'm not sure what they do with it. People are interested in it. It's been vacant forever.
Under Minnesota law, sellers do not have to disclose if there's any alleged paranormal activity connected to a home or a building.
There are monsters under your bed in Pine City.
Boy, you're not kidding. I'm going to skip that one. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and other fast food chains are offering deals for National Cheeseburger Day today. Wendy's announced they're selling its famous Junior Bacon cheeseburgers for just 1 penny through Friday.
Oh, those are the best, too.
Customers must order another item through the Wendy's app to take advantage of the deal. Available today only, McDonald's is discounting one of its most popular menu items, the double cheeseburger, 50 cents through the mobile app, and is limited to one per customer. Through Wednesday, Smashburger is serving up $5 single classics for National Cheeseburger Day in store when you use the code Classic23 at checkout online. Dairy Queen celebrating the holiday with free cheeseburgers with an order of $1 or more when you order through the app. The free cheeseburgers are limited to one per customer. At White Castle, buy one, get one sliders through Wednesday, one per customer. Wahlburgers is offering half off all of its burgers. Burger King, meanwhile, will give a free cheeseburger to any member of its Royal Perks Rewards Club who makes a purchase of $1 or more.
Wow, looks like I'm eating cheeseburgers all week.
Happy National Cheeseburger.
Just go around town, hit every drive-thru.
Josh, I could see you making a cheeseburger your bitch today after you got off the radio.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. 2 games tonight for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, what's that all about? Do you know what that's about, Cubby?
I don't know. I guess you can just flip back and forth, or they start an hour apart.
Which one are you going to watch?
Let me look. I don't know. Panthers and Saints? Or do I watch Pittsburgh and Cleveland?
You got options, pal.
I knew that would tear you apart.
I got to go back and forth on that. Those are your options. Ted Lasso star and SNL alum Jason Sudeikis, 48 today. James Marsden, Teddy on Westworld, Cyclops in the original X-Men trilogy, 50. Happy birthday to Kari from Metal Hand Finishing Jesus. Happy 2nd anniversary to 4 inches, but gets the job done, Jesus, from Orton Lovers Jesus.
Damn bet it does. Bet, what did I say?
You're damn right it does.
Yeah.
You bet it does. Happy birthday to Fire Sprinkler Jesus, listening in Houston, Texas, and we appreciate it. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
This guy is beautiful.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
A high fly to left field. Benintendi going back. Royce Lewis with another grand slam. His 5th career grand slam. His 4th this season.
Grand salami!
Oh, man. Joining the program at this time, as they always do, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. What up, fools?
Good morning.
Randy?
Is he there?
Good morning.
There he is.
Randy.
Sorry.
He did it
Didn't
again.
have my knob turned.
You gotta turn that knob.
That's a problem when you don't get your knob turned enough.
Crank that knob.
Been there.
Try
Done
both
that.
hands. Both hands. The sumbitch did it again over the weekend, didn't he?
It's unbelievable. Most guys go their whole careers without hitting 5 grand slams.
Royce Lewis.
How about hitting 1 grand slam?
Right.
Hell yeah. Royce Lewis set the Twins' season record for grand slams with his fourth is how you say it, last Friday night. 5 now in his career.
I wonder who the best batter who's never hit a grand slam would be.
Jesus, that's a great question.
Good question.
Damn, I wonder if that's something you could look up on the, how do you call it, internet.
Somebody's has to put that together.
Wow.
Big Al? Would he be on the list?
Big Al was not the greatest hitter you've ever seen, but one of the greatest starting pitchers of all time.
Tony Gwynn or Rod Carew, because they weren't really home run hitters.
I think Carew had one, but I don't know about Gwynn.
I'm
throwing it out there.
When I look it up, the first thing that comes up is Bonds. It says he's never hit a grand slam in his career.
Really?
Barry Bonds?
Really? Yep.
That's surprising.
Walter Bond?
Wow.
In fact, it says he only hit one home run with the bases loaded. It didn't end up being a grand slam, obviously, but yeah.
How could a home run with the bases loaded not be a grand slam?
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me read further.
I find it very, very hard to believe that Barry Bonds never hit a grand slam.
I suppose it's
Randy,
possible,
your guesses were good ones. Tony Gwynn, Rod Carew, they slapped the ball the other way.
Bonds had 11 career grand slams.
Maybe it was it his dad? Was it Bobby Bonds?
Yeah, there's two different Bonds.
And there are a few different Bonds that have played in the big leagues.
Was it James Bond?
Oh,
Walter Bond.
I already said that, Brad Ryder. God dang.
Okay.
I bet we can figure this out by the end of the show. There's got to be some premier baseball player, like Josh asked, the best hitter to never hit a grand slam.
It looks like this guy named Glenn Davis never hit a grand slam.
I remember Glenn Davis.
Yeah, I do too.
He had over 190 career home runs.
Glenn Davis was a big power hitter for the Houston Astros, I think, in his prime. Was he not, boys?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Well, that's a. I mean, Glenn Davis is a good answer.
But you're talking about power hitters who did not hit a grand slam. The original question was the best hitter.
Okay, well,
so I wouldn't put. I mean, again,
nothing's set in stone, Randy. I think Glenn Davis is a solid answer.
How about Ozzie Smith?
Ozzie Smith, although Ozzie Smith was more a defensive shortstop, known for his defense.
Let's not be nitpicky. Let's just come up with the most popular known baseball player to ever hit a grand slam. Ozzie Smith.
To ever not hit a grand slam.
What did I say?
You said to hit a grand slam.
Yes, sorry. The best known ball player.
Ron Kittle, he's never hit a home run. He hit over 176 home runs.
You mean he never hit a grand slam? We're both having trouble misspeaking here, Wobble.
High-Rise Gamer Jesus said it was bail bonds. That's what we were thinking.
Alex
Bail
Gonzalez never hit a grand slam.
Okay, Alex Gonzalez. I'm having a hard time picturing who Alex Gonzalez is, but I certainly know Ron Kittle. Matter of fact, before the Twins game yesterday, Ron Kittle was on the field to celebrate the anniversary of the 1983 White Sox who won the division. How many years has that been now? 40 years?
Ooh,
yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think Tony Gwynn is a good guess. I'm not in front of anything to look it up, but I bet you I don't think he did.
It says here Ozzie Smith has the MLB record for most at-bats without hitting a grand slam.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
how about this? I think I have it.
All right.
I typed in Hall of Fame player to never hit grand slam, Wade Boggs.
Oh.
No.
Had a remarkable career as a hitter, but never hit a grand slam. Retired with 3,010 hits.
I'm not trying to be Brad Ryder here, but I was going to say Wade Boggs when the conversation first started. But he had some really big power years towards the middle and end of his career. Like when he left Boston, he started to hit home runs more and more when he played for the Yankees. He hit a few home runs as a member of the Devil Rays because of that silly indoor ballpark they have.
Okay, so
but really, that's a great answer. Wade Boggs.
So Tony Gwynn never hit a grand slam.
Really?
Finished with 3,141 hits.
Well, those are
Rod Carew. Did not hit a grand slam in his career.
Well, we found the sweet spot here, didn't we?
Yeah, Wade Boggs, Tony Gwynn, and
oh wow,
Ichiro.
Some of the greatest hitters ever.
Oh wow, great question, Cubby.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's a ding, ding, ding for Randy, don't you think?
Oh, wait.
Well, I said Carew and Gwynn.
Yes,
Flawless
you did,
victory.
Randy. Congratulations. You said Carew and Gwynn.
I don't hear a ding, ding, ding.
Give him the skull.
Oh, no, not the sarcasm, Horn.
Oh, my
Randy,
Turn his knob for him.
I don't deserve that.
In the words of a great hitter, who I'm sure did hit a few grand slams in his career, Ricky Henderson, in his words, I will tell you, Randy, you're still the best. You are still the best. But yeah, Lewis
Good
did it
question.
again over the weekend. I loved the reaction of Dick Bramer on that call. Twins beat the White Sox yesterday 4-0, so they just keep on
Magic
rolling
number
here.
6.
6.
Magic number 6. Can't clinch before Wednesday, but probably by the end of this week.
Sonny Gray had a great start.
Really good.
Couple of dongs lifted out of the ballpark by Julian and Polanco. Now, Sonny Gray has lowered his ERA down to 2.84. He's just behind Garrett Cole of the completely meaningless New York Yankees, who leads the American League in earned run average at 2.81. And how about Rocco's not going to be around for a while? He's on
babies again, right?
Baby leave, whatever the fancy word is. Paternity? Is that what it is?
Paternity leave, yeah.
Paternity.
He took off after Saturday's game. His wife is expected to push out twin boys.
That's exciting.
Wow.
And so for now, Jace Tingler is running the Twins clubhouse. Yes, Brad Wright.
I was going to say, I'm going to throw some waffle math at you, though. The Twins could clinch Wednesday if they sweep and Cleveland gets swept.
Okay.
Right.
Because you'd combine the wins.
I said couldn't clinch before Wednesday is what I said.
Brad, that's twice that Randy has won some sort of competition that we didn't know we were in.
Hit the bell, twist the knob.
I think he said he couldn't clinch by Wednesday, but anyway.
He said before Wednesday. That's 2 wins in competitions that we didn't know we were in.
No,
for Randy.
Not. I'm just
I just want to be accurate. Make sure our listeners understand the accuracy.
It's like, Josh, you know, I've said this before. You know how you can make sure you're going to win a fight when the other guy doesn't know the two of you are in a fight.
Yeah. Kind of get sucker punched.
Yeah, that's how you...
Always tired Southern Minnesota welder Jesus said that Michael Jordan never hit a grand slam.
Really?
Matter of fact, he was one piss poor hitter. The Twins in Cincinnati tonight. Game 1 will be televised on Bally Sports at 5:40. Oh, Joe Ryan going to start. So we wish Rocco all the luck in the world. He's already got one of those kids, but he's going to be saddled with twins here before you know it.
Pretty exciting.
They likely will clinch when they come back home for their homestand. I'm not sure that they've clinched anything. When I say anything, I mean division championship ever at Target Field. I think they've always done it on the road.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think you're right about that, too,
So there's
Brad,
one
right?
for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
What do you think of this theory from Small Pecker from Becker Jesus? Rocco was betting on the Twins not making the playoffs 9 months ago.
Oh.
Interesting.
Didn't think of that.
Absolutely interesting point, question, theory, whatever it might be.
Yeah, because, you know, like athletes, teachers,
Sure.
and people who have jobs, cyclical jobs like that, usually try and plan it when they're in their off season.
Maybe some intrepid reporter will ask him that.
I bet somebody will.
Yeah, when the Twins signed Joey Gallo, Rocco said, "All right, baby, let's do it. We're not going anywhere." That's what Wapple said because Wapple hates Joey Gallo.
He does.
I do?
Yep.
Oh, that's news.
You've learned a lot about yourself on this show.
God, I hate Joey Gallo.
A lot of inflammatory statements you've made that you didn't know you made.
The Los Angeles Dodgers, they clinched their 10th division title in 11 years on Saturday. The Braves clinched the East. Did I miss anybody else? Oh, you know how I know that the Baltimore Orioles have clinched a playoff spot? Because their general manager was drinking from the dong bong. Orioles general manager Mike Elias. Oh, I'll always walk with Elias. Mike Elias. That's been their gimmick this year. You know how the Twins have the fishing rod and the fishing vest gimmick?
I love that.
Mm-hmm. For the Orioles, they have something called the dong bong.
I like it.
Of course.
And they drink from it when someone hits a home run or a dong. And usually it's just water, but after they clinched a playoff spot on, what day was this? Yesterday? They filled the dong bong with beer and champagne, and the GM, I mean, it looked like something out of a St. Cloud State house party.
I bonged a few beers in St. Cloud State.
I think everybody has.
It's like when you enter campus, they just hand you a beer bong and a beer.
Yep.
Let's get started.
The GM got down on his knees and they fed him the dong bong. And while he was drinking out of it, they're all pouring champagne over his head. And as an older person now, celebrated a birthday yesterday. I'm getting older. As an older person, Josh, when I watched the video, all I thought was, "Oh, I bet he was cold."
I was thinking, somebody would have to help him stand up. I can't do that on my own anymore. I need some assistance.
The dong bong. That's their deal. The Orioles are going to be in the playoffs for the first time since 20+16. And good for them.
Yeah. If the Twins can't do it, I want Baltimore to do it.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
I'm telling you, they have done it. They have built this team over a long period of time, and they've been very super patient. And they've drafted some really great players who have turned out to be exceptional major league players. You got to give them a lot of credit.
And in that division, you don't know whether they're going to be in first place next year. That is such a meat grinder of a division. You kind of hope that if this is their shot, that they do it this year.
Well, you got to credit also the schedule change too, because now you don't have to play each other as many games as you did in the past, and so that makes it a little bit less daunting to win that Eastern Division. And I think that's helped them a lot too. But you got to give them credit because this is not a veteran group. This is a very young baseball team with a hell of a future ahead of them. It's pretty impressive.
Let me ask you this. How many more wins do you think the Twins would have this season if they were playing those games against their division opponents that they're not?
That's a very good question.
Because some folks might say, they're only 8 games over 500. They hovered around 500 for so much that maybe if they played more games against Kansas City. And so maybe this is a better team than they appear to be on paper.
Yes, I totally agree with your analysis.
Well, that's one for me.
Nick's on the board.
You're on the board.
Brad's getting smoked this morning.
It's about damn time.
I don't know why Brad can't get his act together. Here's a text message from Off-Road Snapper Sheezes. She says, "How does dong bong not mean penis?" Well, I think it sort of does, Off-Road Snapper Sheezes. That's kind of the joke. Dong, sure, home run, but it also means, you know what it means. You're from the 612. You know what that means.
It's looking like the Twins will play either Toronto, Texas, or Seattle.
Well, that narrows it down.
I just happen to be looking at it.
That's not
Sorry.
one for you, Brad.
That's not one. That's not.
No. We're not going to put that one on the
We're
board.
going to give that to Wapple.
There's one for Wapple. Yes. I don't know why. Wait, don't try too hard to get in there, Brad. I mean,
pick and choose your spots, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of teams to choose from.
Yeah.
What is this now? Shohei Ohtani cleared out his locker at Angel Stadium. He's done.
Okay.
Going to take his ball and go home? What's his problem?
I think he probably realizes that he's not going to be back.
Yeah, they probably let him go. I mean, didn't let him go, but they probably said it was okay to go.
Well, he shouldn't go.
Well,
show some solidarity with your, what's the word?
Team.
Camaraderie and solidarity with your teammate. No, really.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
Show
that's a
some
dick move.
Damn camaraderie.
That's a quote from my dad. I think that's one for me since that's a quote from my dad. My dad once said he enjoyed fishing trips strictly for the camaraderie.
Actually, I think we got to give that to Wapple again because he said it.
No. My dad said it 10 years ago. Wapple was still in high school.
He was reminding you.
I think your dad gets the point
I
because
think
he
he
came
does.
up with it.
Call my dad, Josh. Tell him he gets a point.
Yeah,
all right, so let's recap. Nick has 1 point.
Yes.
Wapple has 1 point. Nick's dad has 1 point, and Randy's at 2.
And I have 1.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
okay, I'm
Brad
sorry.
has 1.
Yeah.
I didn't know Brad had 1.
No, I know you guys, Randy especially swings from the Shohei's jock, but I think that's a dick move. You got 14 games left. Stay on the fridge. Stay in the clubhouse. Who do you think you are? Show your teammates that you're part of the team.
It's National Cheeseburger Day. Let the guy go.
He's not coming back. If he was coming back after National, don't make us tell the Steve Lombardozzi story again. Why do you think Dan Gladden kicked his ass? Right?
Right.
He left the clubhouse before the game was over. Oh, I'm special. I'm going to leave. You're not special. Sit your ass down till we're all done. Now, I'm sorry I blew up, but I think blowing up gains me a point.
I think it does.
How does that get you a point?
Passion.
Just the passion
Oh, he's
behind
got a
it.
passion
okay.
point.
Yes.
Yeah, passion.
But you don't give
points.
yourself 2 points. I didn't think of
Oh,
that.
yeah, passion points count for 2. I mean, really, what if this was Willie Castro of the Minnesota Twins? Not the biggest. He said, you know what? I'm not feeling like, well, I'll just wait around till the end of the season. I'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings until the end of the season. Everyone would be losing. Shohei gets a pass? F off. Football yesterday. Vikings didn't play, did they?
Yes. No.
Ken confirmed it.
Did I
Thursday.
miss something?
No, they played on Thursday.
Yeah, they didn't lose yesterday.
But everybody else in the division lost yesterday.
Yeah.
That's good for us.
Detroit lost in overtime. Green Bay lost in the last second against Atlanta.
Chicago lost.
Chicago got beat by Tampa, who's turning out to be a pretty decent football team after all.
I told you.
And how about Arizona blowing the big lead to the Giants yesterday? Arizona fans already know they want to win the lottery. They want the number 1 pick. So losing games is important to Arizona.
And the kick is through. And the New York Giants put together one of their biggest comebacks in 99 years of Giants football. From down 21 to win 31-28.
Is that right? I missed all that.
Yeah. Daniel Jones had a big finish to that football game.
Did you guys? I just happened to be at the bar last night, and the television was on. Did you see the end of the Washington-Denver game?
Yes.
Mr. Unlimited, dude.
And then they couldn't get the 2-point conversion to tie it up. They threw a miracle Hail Mary, bounced off everybody in the friggin' ballpark,
awesome.
and then they needed the 2-point conversion.
Was it just like a womp womp?
I was like, all right, overtime football. Let's go, baby.
No.
Cincinnati hasn't won a game yet.
Yeah, but they did this last year, too.
They did?
They started 0-2, yes.
Did I see, though, that Burrow re-aggravated his
He did a
calf
little bit.
injury?
He's got something wrong with him.
I think Cincy's in trouble a little bit.
Yeah.
But they did this last year, I said.
I remember Nick
get a
saying
point.
that.
I get a point.
No, like it was taken away.
How do you get a point? You made a point, and then you argued it.
Yeah.
I made a point, but you tried to take away my point.
No.
No point for you.
I said
No point
they
for
haven't
you.
won a game yet. And you said, yeah, but they did this last year. Then 30 seconds later, you said they're in real trouble or something like that.
They are.
You don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
With Burrow's injury, I think they're going to be in trouble.
I'll try anything twice. Jesus wants to know if he can have a point just for asking for a point.
I brought up
No.
the injury, so I should get the point because then you counter-argued your own argument.
Josh, do I like peanut butter?
You love peanut butter.
Do I? Okay. 2 Monday Night Football games tonight, Josh told us earlier.
Yes.
That's pointless.
Why?
Yeah,
Guess
that's
I don't
weird.
understand the reason.
Yeah.
why.
And I know they used to do it on opening week. They'd have
Well,
2
yeah,
Monday
but
night
you
games.
can
at
watch
doubleheader.
Opening week, they'd have one on the East Coast and then one on
Yeah.
the West Coast. They would
Yeah.
stagger the time so that
Right,
people
so you
could
could
watch
watch
both of
them
them.
both.
I don't understand the thinking behind, let's try to take people's attention away from one of these 2 games. It doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't make sense.
This doesn't seem right. There's a Los Angeles Rams wide receiver. His first name is Puka.
Oh, that's not
Puka.
right. That's
Puka?
too
Pretty good,
okay.
actually.
He's very good.
Puka.
He's a rookie.
Not Puka.
Puka.
He set the NFL single-game record for most receptions by a rookie. He had 15 catches yesterday in their game against the 49ers.
Add that to what he did in week 1, and he's off and running.
Oh, he's got all kinds of catches, this Puka.
Yeah. Puka.
He's taking the
25
Cooper Cup role in
Yes, he is.
L.A.
25 receptions in his first 2 games as a professional wide receiver. So he's got the new record. The previous mark was set by, I remember this guy. The previous mark was, well, yeah, but then again, how can you not start setting these records when all they do is throw the football?
True.
The previous leader in that category, receptions by a rookie in his first 2 games, was set by Earl Cooper.
Earl Cooper.
Name the team, 1980, Earl Cooper.
Oilers.
No.
I don't know.
He wore number 49. I can even remember that.
Earl Cooper.
Yeah.
Wide receiver or running back?
I think he was a little of both. But he played for the 49ers.
Oh.
Okay.
Gosh, don't remember him at all.
Cowboys won yesterday over the New York Jets. One of their assistant coaches fainted on the sidelines. That's got to be kind of
Oh, that's
concerning.
scary.
You saw video of it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, what the hell happened there? He just kind of nosed down.
Just kind of fell down out of nowhere.
Did he land on his face? Land on his ass?
No, landed on his ass.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Was it hot or was he over here?
I don't know. Sharif Floyd, he used to play football here.
Oh, yeah. He used to be a lineman.
Now he's an assistant coach for the damn Cowboys, and his lights went out on him.
Wow.
He's probably a big dude. That would worry me.
Yes, he was a big defensive lineman.
Yeah, you said that twice. You don't get points for saying things twice.
All right, we got to take away a point.
Just because you say it twice doesn't mean...
Don't take away a point.
Unring the bell on Randy.
We're not taking... You never had a point. I'm just saying things twice, we could take one away, Josh said.
You've been warned.
Put Josh in charge.
Josh is always in charge.
He's just naturally in
The
charge.
only guy here that's not drunk or on drugs.
I could dock you a point for that question, Randy, but I'm not going to. Because I make the call.
He's the only guy here that executes clean living. So he's always in charge.
Well, other than Brad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Brad ain't clean.
I've
You
heard
don't think
stories
so?
about those softball trips, Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Brad's got a meth pipe in his hand right now. He's got a meth rod in one hand and a bottle of Old English in the other.
Get ready to go in to teach with my meth pipe in my hand.
I would. If I were you, I would.
Yeah, you
I'd
have
have to
to.
be on meth to go teach.
Hey, anybody who's coming to our Infect the River cruise this weekend, it's Friday night. Anyone who's already bought tickets, just know Josh is in charge.
And you all get a point. Every single one of you
Everyone
get a
that
point.
shows up. If you want to know what time the food is served, what time the band starts, you want to know how many beers you're able to buy in one pop, talk to Cubby.
I got you.
Oh, no.
All right, what else is going on? Well, I got something here on Barry Sanders. There's a documentary coming out here now and again at one point or another. September, that's not right. November 21st, there's a documentary coming out on the life of Barry Sanders. It's going to be on Amazon Prime Video, whatever that is.
Every franchise wants greatness. Barry Sanders gave us that.
He's the best running back in football ever.
He's an icon, legend.
He would have owned the NFL record had he not retired.
There are a lot of conspiracy theories.
What could have happened? You'd have to ask him.
Superstars don't just walk off and leave.
Prime has a lot of good football stuff.
Do they?
Yeah, they've been loading up. I saw a video yesterday, or a preview, I should say, for Marshawn Lynch going to Amish country, and it looks pretty funny. That's on Prime.
Awesome. I'm sorry. I've had enough of Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, what? I love him.
I'm with you.
No,
I am with
want
you.
all of Marshawn Lynch. So good.
I've had enough of that gimmick. Here's the deal. So, the story of Barry Sanders' life, it'll be called Bye Bye Barry. And he claims the great mystery of why he walked away from the game will be answered once and for all. If anyone was hanging on that information.
Funny if he just goes, because Detroit sucks.
Yeah. So, there you go. I mean, he is one of the greatest.
Oh, he is.
No doubt. I mean, he was amazing to watch. Yesterday, is this correct? Saturday, in Detroit, they unveiled an 8-foot bronze statue of Barry Sanders.
They did,
Yeah.
yes.
Is it good looking?
I think it's cool.
Yes.
Does it look like him? Good, good. I enjoyed watching Barry Sanders. You had to. Golden Gopher football, they got whooped down in North
too many
Carolina.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Too many field goals.
Yeah.
Just can't. You can't beat quality teams if you can't put the ball in the end zone. So
All that stuff. Boy, that quarterback for North Carolina looks like
He's
he knows
good.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
good.
good.
He had a couple mistakes, but other than that,
yeah, he's pretty good.
He looks like he knows what he's doing. Who do they play next? Northwestern?
Yeah, Northwestern is not good.
Does
So,
Northwestern still have a team?
Yeah. They are not
That was
good.
a lame joke. We're taking away a point.
Come on.
Because it went nowhere, and then you kind of
That's-
chuckled at it.
that's
Did everyone
illegal.
notice that?
I did
yeah,
not
he
hear
did.
it, yeah.
Laughed at his own joke.
No one laughed at your Northwestern joke, and then we heard you go. That's not how we play.
Oh my God.
I just checked the rules.
Josh never sent me the rules.
Well, remember, we're playing a game nobody knew we were even going to play. And I just checked the rules. Nick's right. Nick, give yourself a point.
Oh, thank you.
My God.
Here's an interesting question texted in from Big Daddy Jesus. Cubby, since you're in charge of the boat cruise on Friday,
What you got?
Will you, NASCAR Dad Jesus wants to know, will you be in charge of slapping on the sunscreen for a virgin sailor?
I've been softening my hands for months. I'm ready.
NASCAR Dad Jesus, the answer is yes. Whatever body part you got that you want sunscreen applied to, Josh will handle that.
You tell me the body part and the SPF, and I'm your guy.
A little strange that you want sunscreen for a nighttime event. But maybe you're just that sensitive to the light. We don't know.
Sure.
For a virgin sailor. Oh, did everyone see this video? An Iowegian dude cheerleader did a series of backflips in the end zone at their ball game on Saturday, and his pants came off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
This is up on 93x.com.
F me running if his pants didn't come off.
It's a pretty quick recovery, though.
Oh,
He got
yeah.
him back
Oh,
up
yeah.
pretty quick.
That was a cool flip, too.
Yeah.
I can't help but watch like the other people on the sideline. There's
The
like
other
one
cheerleaders are
cheerleader
funny.
girl, yeah, specifically that you can just see it on her face. She's waiting for him to come over there just so she can be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry."
Friggin' pants came off. God damn, he was busted out backflips so faster than I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
That was pretty slick. If you're gonna have your pants fall down, that's an okay time, I think.
This dude could probably do that just all the way to class if he wanted to, as long as he can keep his pants up. Oh, there was some other college football stuff that people were coming uncorked for over the weekend. The Missouri Tigers won a game by kicking a 61-yard field goal to beat a ranked team, Kansas State. 61-yard field goal. I think it was like maybe the longest that a Missouri kicker's ever cut loose on a ball game.
Yeah, has to be.
My guy, Booger McFarland. I love Booger McFarland. I want more Boogs when I watch football. I don't know. People were making fun of what he had to say. I think he was just kind of riffing and didn't know what to say. But after the kicker made the field goal, do you have the audio of what Boogs said, Josh?
I do.
61 yards out. Is it good? Yeah. They're partying in Columbia. It's the longest kick in SEC history. He's going to have the night of his life in Columbia. Yes, he is. There's no doubt. Keep your clothes on tonight, young man.
Keep your clothes on.
I don't know. He was just trying to throw in something. I'm not mad at Boogs.
It happens.
No. Got a few people have texted in, talk about how many times they've had their pants drawn around their ankles at the University of Iowa.
Oh.
Just like that cheerleader. Saying they've had their pants around their ankles a few times at the University of... ESPN had to turn down the audio during the game, like the crowd audio, during the game between West Virginia and Pittsburgh. So they're playing at West Virginia's campus. Big crowd. Big rivalry there. They call it the backyard brawl, right. West Virginia and Pittsburgh. And the West Virginia home crowd has this cute gimmick where they sing Sweet Caroline and they throw in a derogatory comment about Pittsburgh. They say, eat Pitt. So it goes like this: Sweet Caroline, eat Pitt. Good times never seem so good. Each. That's the gimmick.
I love it so much.
I cut together just the bad words there simply because of podcast licensing. We can't put the Sweet Caroline in there.
Oh, sure.
Sounds like an old ECW crowd.
It was loud, so ESPN had to grab the master volume and duck it down, dummy it down, so little kids won't start crying and parents calling the FCC and all that. Sweet. Now I can't stop singing it. I hate that song. I do. I cannot stand that friggin' stupid old Barry Manilow song or whoever sang that stupid.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be stuck in my head all day. But at least I think like the fun version will be stuck in my head though.
But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they dump. It's singable then to me. Sweet Caroline, each Pitt.
Do the Gophers have any fun one like that? Like I know they just have the typical stuff, but is there any like cussing one or dirty one?
If they do, I can't make out what they're saying.
My grandma loved Neil Diamond. Oh man, she was such a fan.
A couple of my buddies went and saw him in concert. They liked it. So does does Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, does he have a new movie coming out or something?
You would think, because that seems like the only time he ever comes back is when he has something to promote.
He was on WWE SmackDown Friday night, then he showed up at that College Game Day television show on Saturday morning. So does Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, does he have a new movie coming out or something?
You would think, because that seems like the only time he ever comes back is when he has something to promote.
He was on WWE SmackDown Friday night, then he showed up at that College Game Day television show on Saturday morning.
They were pretty excited about that.
If one more celebrity shows up to swing from Deion Sanders' jock, I'm going to friggin' vomit.
It's like an NBA Finals game. Good grief.
They didn't give a rat's ass about him 3 months ago, but now he's the hot new college. Whoa, can I get tickets to the... I am giving him what?
Give him credit.
I'm not taking anything away. I'm not taking anything away from Deion Sanders. It's all these hangers-on who now want to show up at all his ball games.
I turned that game off. I thought it was over Saturday night.
Oh. I mean, except for the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm not mad at the Wu-Tang Clan.
The Rock does have something coming out on Amazon Prime around Christmas. Yeah, it's called Red One. Not sure what it is.
Did you happen to see the story that 60 Minutes did on Deion last night?
No.
It was really good.
Yeah,
very,
it was.
very good. Yeah.
I didn't know that his other son played on the team, too. I
Yeah,
thought it was
two boys on the team.
Yeah, I thought it was just the quarterback that he had on the team.
Our favorite former Gopher coach is on his staff, too.
Tracy Clays?
No.
Jerry Kill?
Tim Brewster.
Tim Brewster?
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we knew that. Yeah,
He's
we
an
talked about
energetic
that.
character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, funny. I just got a text message from a listener saying, I have to know what you guys thought about the Colorado State game. I didn't see it, but I hear
Big
it was very dramatic. Colorado beat them in overtime. And so, this whole dust-up between Deion Sanders and the coach for Colorado State. What the hell is his name again? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll never hear from him again.
Jerry something
Newell
or
or
Novell. Jasper Novell.
Initials, yeah.
We're going with Jasper Novell. Okay. If you missed this, Novell criticized Deion for wearing a cowboy hat and sunglasses whenever he's being interviewed on television. He said, what did he say? My mother taught me that when I talk to other grown people, I remove my hat and my sunglasses. So then this and that, they jaw-jack a little bit. Colorado beats Colorado State, kind of puts this Jasper Novell in his place. And seeing how this sunglasses scandal, kicked into high gear a day or two ago, the brand of sunglasses that Deion wears sold off the shelves faster than anything anyone's ever seen. The sunglasses are Blenders Eyewear, apparently.
Oh, I love Blenders.
Do you?
Yeah, that's the only brand of sunglasses I'll buy.
I'm taking a point away from Waffle because that's a douchey thing to say.
Now you have no
That
points,
really is.
Waffle.
Yes, it's very douchey.
That was douchey, wasn't it, Josh?
Yes, it was.
Those are
yeah,
the only.
kind of.
Only those sunglasses could be on my face.
Only kind of wear.
That was douchey, so we're taking away a point.
They're cheap and they look good.
Real men go to Holiday and buy an $8 pair of sunglasses and break them in half within 3.5 hours, and they don't care. Okay. These Blenders eyeglasses, what are they called? Sunglasses. Sold $1.2 million worth just Saturday alone when the game happened. The Colorado State game. $1.2 million in sales. Everything's turning up Deion Sanders right now.
Next 2 weeks will be real interesting, though. They play Oregon and USC next 2 weeks. So we'll see how good they are.
On the road or at home?
I don't remember. I did see that that's their next two games, though.
They're on the road next weekend, but then they have USC at home.
Point for Waffle. He's back, baby.
And who will be showing up next week? Oh, it's Bobby Brown and Billy Ray Cyrus. And
I was thinking that USC game's going to be nuts with celebrities.
Yeah.
That'll be a
it's
game. Especially if Colorado wins in
I
Oregon.
was going to say, if they beat Oregon, I mean, it's all hands on deck. Everybody's going to be there.
Charlie Sheen and the Mandrell sisters. And
Mandrell sisters.
I have a bunch of buddies that went to Boulder, and they still live in Denver, and they're saying it's kind of double-edged sword. This is all fun and exciting, but if they want to go to a game this season, they're going to have to take out a second mortgage on their house.
Oh, that's true.
I heard the same thing. I was talking to Ryan Saunders actually last week about the same thing, and he said he wants to go to a game, and he can't afford to go to a game.
Yeah.
Last year, they couldn't give a ticket away to their football club.
Exactly correct.
When the Gophers played there, I went to that game a couple of years ago, and I think our tickets were like $15 or something.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's something I've never heard afore. So get ready to give me a point. Because you've never heard it before either, and I'm the one that's going to tell you. So I think that will eventually earn me a point, but we'll check with Josh. He's in charge. The band director, the marching band director of an Alabama high school marching band was tased and arrested by the cops.
No. What?
What? Because he would not order his band to stop playing.
What?
Hey, they practiced a lot for that.
I will not make that order.
What?
This was over the weekend in Alabama. There was a high school football game between Jackson Olin High and Minor High.
Yeah, this was actually Thursday.
Oh, okay. The marching band director who was arrested is a fella called Johnny Mims. So here's the story. After the game ended, football game's over, the cops were in the process of clearing out the stadium. Everybody out, game's over. Both marching bands are still performing. A couple of cops went down to tell the marching band directors, hey, cut it. Everyone's gone anyway. Stop with the Jackson Olin band said, okay, cool. And they stopped playing. The other school, Minor High School, led by Johnny Mims, the band director, they wouldn't stop. And the cops and like on-field security officers are telling this Mims guy, dude, tell your band to stop playing. And he wouldn't friggin' do it.
Weird.
He instructed the band to keep going.
Were they trying to cut him off in mid-song or something?
Well,
or?
yeah, they cut the other high school band off in mid-song because the friggin' game is over. Shut up.
I can't hear
We're getting everyone out of here now. So then a physical altercation begins with this marching band director and a security guy. They ended up having to tase him.
Bet the kids were laughing their asses
Oh,
off.
absolutely.
Yeah, get him.
He's fighting, this Mims guy is fighting the security guards. He's fighting the cops. They tased him. And he booked him in jail. You better believe those kids were having the time of their friggin' life. I mean, imagine like when I was a youth hockey player, if we were the last ice of the night, you know, and the Zamboni guy came out and said to our coach, hey, shut her down, practice is over. And the coach said, no, we got a couple more drills to go through. And then a cop came in and tased my coach. That would have been the greatest accomplishment of my hockey career. No one would have believed it, except for the guys on the club. So there you go. I've never heard of anything like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
They got to light the marching band coach up in front of the kids. Oh, Randy, Brad, Josh, Dana.
Back
Ashley,
to Colorado
Waffle.
football real quickly.
Why can't I name everyone on the show without being
Yeah,
interrupted?
he was trying to name everyone.
Trying to get a point.
Sorry, Dana, you lost 3 points.
Trying to get a point.
3? Dude, I think you're negative now.
What happened now?
I just lost 3 points.
Yeah, you did. Shoot. You were saying something about something or another?
Oh, but we were talking about the Colorado football game, the USC game. I just looked up on StubHub. The get-in-the-door price is in the last row is $388.
Holy cow.
That's nuts.
That won't mean anything to Tom Selleck, who will be making an appearance at the next. I've always been a Dion fan.
His Tigers cap will be replaced by a Colorado Buffalo cap.
Oh, I've been a Buffaloes fan from the word go, and I always loved Dion. Yeah, this is why I'm here. That's why I'm here. By the way, I got a new show coming out on CBS.
Oh, I'd love to watch Tom Selleck in a new show.
Last week, LeBron James made a surprise appearance at Rochester Lords High School. So now he's the second greatest athlete to ever set foot in Rochester behind Darrell Thompson, in my opinion. Second greatest athlete to ever walk on Rochester's property behind Darrell Thompson. This is a pretty cool video. You know, he's been in town, I think, because his kid was at Mayo, with the heart problem. And LeBron's been working out and lifting weights at Rochester Lord's High School. And then they kind of assembled the school, and he showed up and surprised everybody. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like LeBron James. I've bounced back and forth on my feelings on LeBron. But this was a really cool thing.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just seems like a good dude.
Unless I'm missing something. What other athletes came from Rochester? Wasn't Johnny Pohl?
Well,
I don't know.
the
No,
Miller
Johnny was
sisters.
from
Red Wing?
Red Wing, yeah.
Didn't
The
he? But
Miller
didn't-
sisters, Coco and what were
The
the
Miller
Coco?
sisters.
They were
Coco
the
and Kelly.
Coco and Kelly Miller, the basketball players.
Oh, what about Doug Smolik? Wasn't he from Rochester? Doug Smolik.
Johnny Pohl wasn't from Rochester.
I told you he was from Rochester.
Red Wing.
God, that's
Red
true.
Wing, yeah.
It's the Wikipedia says Rochester.
Well, Wikipedia trumps Randy and Brad. I got a point on that one.
Give Wikipedia a point.
What about Eric Strobel?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
that's-
really?
he's on there.
God, I'm good.
Yeah.
Marcus Sherrills.
Marcus Sherrills.
Marcus Sherrills, yeah.
I am good. That was kind of a shame over the weekend. Wapple, were you watching that NASCAR race?
Yeah, it was.
Friggin' Dale Earnhardt Jr., he hasn't driven in a long time. He gets in his car to drive in that, Food City 300 at Bristol, and then he caught on fire.
Junior's starting to fall back. He's got a fire.
Oh, yeah, he's on fire. There's smoke in the right side of the car.
That was it. It was over.
fire!
There is no fire.
Oh, stop and roll!
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
I'm on fire!
Help me, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise using witchcraft on me to get the fire off me.
He was doing really well, wasn't Dale Jr.? Then he caught on fire.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Oh, yeah, listener just texted in, Sean Podine. I'm still saying LeBron and Darryl Thompson are the two greatest athletes to ever grace Rochester.
Michael Restovich.
Oh, I haven't thought of that name in a long time.
He was with the Twins when I was there. That's why I remember
Michael
him.
Restovich.
He didn't even make their Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's why you finished today, Brad. You finished with 0 points.
Oh, I should get a point for that.
You
Come on.
bring up Michael Restovich
Who
on
else
this
would have
show.
brought up Michael Restovich?
That's why you get 0 points. Nobody wants to remember Michael Restovich.
I'm the winner.
Randy wins.
Randy had a great showing today.
Good job, Randy.
And I mean nothing personal. Of course, I remember Michael Restovich, and I hope he's doing well. We're just busting Brad's chops. But Randy wins, everybody. Thank Randy for his
Yay, Randy.
That was awesome.
This has been a game that we have no idea the parameters to.
It's been fun.
But it has been fun. We got to go. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
All right, coming up next, if you got a little problem, you got a little cold, you got this and that, physical aches, anything that you might want to talk to a doctor about, you can text us at 651-989-9393 because our buddy Dr. P. Jesus will be next on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
The Gen Zers, you know, they love to like be Gen Z-y, are calling Margot Robbie mid. On what planet is Margot Robbie a mid? Who's judging this? Like, are women judging it? The people, the forward haircuts.
Yeah.
Don't bring my people into this. Or people with the foreheads, babe. We all agree that she's a 10.
Yes. Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Here's our guy now on the telephone. It's Dr. James Parnell. We hung the nickname of Dr. P. Jesus on him a while back, and by God, it's stuck. If you have a question about your gorgeous body, your general health, text us. The phone number is 651-989-9393. Hello, James.
Hello, folks. How are you?
Well, we're doing good. Thanks for coming on with late notice and all that. We weren't sure what the hell was going on. I know Josh called you a couple hours ago, and there you were.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's good.
Your social life sucks, huh?
Yeah, he's got nothing going on.
Got nothing going on?
You should get a job,
especially in the mornings. Yeah.
I hear you. How was
Bars
your
are pretty
weekend?
quiet. Good. It was good.
Good to hear.
Good.
Good to hear. Well, we have text messages piling in for you already, if you don't mind jumping right on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's what Dr. P. Jesus will do for you, by damn. Here's an interesting one to start with. What's likely to give way on me first if all I do is stare at a computer for work? The listener wants to know, would it be my eyesight or the inner workings of my wrist and hands?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know people who have real trouble. Yeah. Not the eyesight, I don't hear about that much, but I know people who have real trouble with their wrists and hands from constantly fingering their computers all day long.
Josh, do you have any issues with your eyesight or like typing and stuff? I know that you're constantly on a computer.
My eyesight's getting worse. I don't know if it's related or not.
Have you ever tried those glasses? Don't they have like glasses that are supposed to help?
Yeah,
what?
blue light.
Yeah.
Blue light
glasses. I thought you meant
glasses.
cheaters.
No, I've never even heard of those.
You don't wear cheaters yet, Josh?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't need them. Just like if I'm reading a book or something, it's up close. When it's up close, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Blue light glasses, like a lot of gamers use them because it takes out like the harmful rays that come off the computer screen and it makes it easier on your eyes.
I think I'd look too dumb to wear them.
I think you'd look cool.
I'm more
in a pair.
concerned.
I got a pair I can bring in. You can try them out, Josh. I think you'd look good in them.
So eyesight or phalangeal problems, Dr. P?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it does seem like, most of us spend an awful lot of time looking at screens these days. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, for the most part, people don't have too many problems with that, at least in large numbers. But yeah, clearly you can have eye fatigue. You can have people who are prone to headaches and things like that definitely can have issues with looking at the screen too long. And I think there's pretty decent evidence that if you're looking at screens late at night, it really kind of messes up your sleep cycle. I don't know if there's great scientific evidence about whether those glasses that you put on to block the blue light matter, but that's something I could look up a little bit. I mean, I think if it makes you feel like you're having less eye strain or sensitivity, it's not going to hurt you. But I'm not sure how well it helps. The hand and wrist stuff that's obviously very real.
That's from masturbating to pornography?
Right, and then having to go to work.
I've caught two people doing it here. They've combined the two.
Oh,
it's a terrible thing.
That is really a terrible thing.
Sometimes I see people wearing those wacky, wrist braces and things like that.
Oh, yeah, my mom has those.
Is that right?
Really?
Yep.
From masturbation?
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Wow. She's a God-fearing Christian, Dr. P.
Dr. P, you may not have been listening earlier, but that just earned you a point.
Well,
and
good.
I think with that foul comment, you're officially a member of the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Welcome.
Welcome to the madness.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
So your wrists and your fingers are going to fall off, as you were saying.
Yeah, probably the most common issue is carpal tunnel for people who are, particularly on the mouse hand. And the carpal tunnel is basically squeezing the median nerve, which goes down through the wrist. And those wrist braces they just hold your wrist in a neutral position, so that can help sometimes. A lot of time, the other thing is thumb arthritis, which is very miserable once you start getting that. The mouse is. It is interesting that we have not come up with a better solution, really, because it is a little awkward. I think particularly depending on how high up your desk is, your shoulders are a little crimped, and your arm is out in front of you. I mean, it's an awkward position. So yeah, changing position is good. There's obviously different types of mice that can help with maybe holding your wrist. There's maybe I have tried a joystick mouse. I couldn't really make it work very well. But there's keyboards that have a slider kind of mouse on it where your hands can maybe be in a more neutral central position.
Sure.
So,
yeah, and they're kind of there's some that have a peak in the center so you can twist your wrists a little bit.
Yeah, I think playing around with those types of things, if you're someone who really, really spends, and most employers, I would say these days, have at least some awareness of this. So you can usually get an ergonomics assessment.
Ergonomics.
Ergonomics, so basically just proper body positioning for your workspace, and that's I'm more familiar with that in like office settings, where people are sitting at desks and looking at computers all day because your computer monitor height, your keyboard height, all those things make a difference. The type of chair, the setup of your chair.
Yeah, I mean, mix up your positioning once in a while. Like Josh's mom might do.
My God.
Sit one way, maybe stand a couple times when you're doing your. Here's a little trash hauling. Jesus says. Or no, it wasn't trash hauling, Jesus. It was someone else who texted in. Sorry, the texts are coming in fast and I lose them quickly. Somebody said, I'm not worried so much about my eyesight and my wrists or fingers as I'm worried about blood clots in my legs from sitting in front of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you really are parked at your computer all day. But yeah, sit, stand, desk. I feel like those really became a major. I mean, that was like the industry that did really well during COVID. The people that made those desks to have at home.
Stand-up desks, yeah. I only stand up when I'm at home. I never sit down in front of the computer just because I sit here at work. When I'm at home, I think, I got to be on my feet for something. But anyway, yeah, mix up your positioning. See what works for you one way or the other, and maybe you'll be able to keep your hands for the entirety of your life.
Animal chiropractor Shiza said when she was seeing people as a chiropractor, it was definitely wrist and hands and back and neck before eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just, if you really do think about having your arm, your forearm up on a table, it means your shoulder and neck on that side are kind of constantly in action, and that's not great for your back and neck. It's great for chiropractors.
I'm sure people working in construction feel real bad for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. No, they have a whole host of other issues.
Can't dodge it, ram it, Jesus said. No matter how much I drink water and electrolytes, it always feels like I'm dehydrated. Could there be something wrong with my kidneys?
Oh, boy.
Significant thirst that doesn't get quenched. The number one thing we think about is diabetes, so it's important to get in to be seen. Usually it would be probably a fasting blood sugar, but also a test called the hemoglobin A1C, which looks at your average blood sugar basically over the last 3 months. Because if your blood sugar is high enough, it spills out into the urine and it acts like a diuretic and will just dry you out. Probably, and that's not a problem directly with the kidneys. That's because your glucose is high and your body can only hold on to so much glucose, essentially.
That's interesting. I'd never heard that before, that a feeling of constant thirst is a sign of diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, massive thirst is hard to quench, and frequent urination, too, because you're peeing out all the fluids you drink. Kidney problems themselves, certainly kidney tests would be part of any kind of evaluation for that sort of thing. There are other conditions where people could be massively thirsty and it's not diabetes. Does
it matter? Does it matter what you're using to hydrate yourself? They said water, and what did they say, Josh?
Electrolytes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, electrolytes is, Gatorade is the most convenient form to get some electrolytes, though it's not the best. There's many solutions out there. The more what would we call it? Basically, the salt and potassium content of our blood doesn't taste too great. So, things like Pedialyte, which is what you give to a really sick, dehydrated kid.
Oh, that stuff is salty.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty salty, yeah, because we are made of salt water. If you are really dehydrated and you're out in the sun and all that, yes, you need to get some electrolytes. But if you're constantly thirsty and nothing quenches it, then again, something's going on.
Well, that's a good heads up, because I never would have considered something like that. I just would have kept drinking whatever my drink of choice to try to fix it. I never would have thought because when I was a kid, I always thought, boy, I'm thirsty. Give me a pop. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it didn't, I was too dumb to realize that, all I was doing was basically licking a sugar cane. You know what I mean? Have some water, have some Gatorade, this and that. It's a good question.
This person says, every time I lay down or bend over, it feels and sounds like the pressure in my head is readjusting. It's hard to describe over text, but it's almost like a whoomp, whoomp, whoomp sound.
Pressure, but a sound.
Like the pulse of their heartbeat, maybe? Boom, boom.
Every time they lay down. Well, I would think, if it's truly a sense that you're hearing something, obviously we'd want to look in their ears. People who have a lot of wax in their ears will often sometimes get water behind the wax.
Oh, that's
and that if you change position, it sort of adjusts in your ear canal, and that can give you a weird sort of fullness in the ear and maybe a sound.
Sure, that makes sense.
And that's the simplest thing to resolve, because you can come in and it can be sort of rinsed out or curetted out, sucked out, and that will resolve the symptoms right away. You can also have fluid behind the eardrum. That happens with an infection, but it can also just be something called serous otitis, where for some reason you've got some fluid back there, and it's usually because you use eustachian tubes, which are the tubes that go from the space behind the eardrum, the middle ear, to the back of your throat, and they equalize pressure, but they're also supposed to allow fluid to kind of drain out of there. So allergies, upper respiratory infections, those can affect those tubes and not let them work. So wax, allergies, those would be my top couple things to think about.
Anyone here ever had terrible earwax problems?
No, thankfully.
Plenty of ear problems, but not ear wax.
I kind of wish I did, because I find this stuff fascinating.
Do you?
I do, and I've heard stories. I think, Josh, you told a story. Someone had the earwax sucked out of their ear. You said it was something to see.
Yeah, my son, he did.
Oh.
Yeah, it can be
really relieving, that it feels really good.
I bet it does too. I'm obsessed with cleaning my ears. I maybe 3 or 4 times a day I go in there with a Q-tip, and I know.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've kind of got a thing for that. I don't. But I kind of wish I was able to go to the doctor and have him just suck a baseball out for me.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
do that. Yeah, you can go and do that.
It is satisfying when you get a lot on there and you pull it out.
Would they find anything with me being so thorough?
Probably.
They could be. Honestly, using Q-tips frequently, it is one of the main causes of people getting impacted earwax, and it's because you're only
shoving it back in there.
You're basically shoving it in there. Yeah. That doesn't mean that's happening, but that's not an uncommon story. And yeah, I will say I sort of wish I had taken pictures of some of the things I've taken out of people's ears, because it would make a nice, coffee table.
Would you go in with me, Josh?
Yeah, I'd love to see what comes out. Yeah, I went to an ENT and she told me not to use anything in there, because she's like, well, do you put anything in your ears? I'm like, yeah, just like my pinky. I put in like pen caps, keys that'll fit. And she looked at me like I was an alien and said, don't do anything. My ears have been way better now that I don't put anything in there.
I stuffed a remote in there.
Yeah, whatever I can find.
A tampon.
I think that isn't the old grandmother's advice is don't put anything in your ear smaller than your elbow.
I have more of a serious question. No offense to the folks asking about earwax and whatever we've been talking about so far, but this sounds a little more serious to me. Listener says my wife had a preventative mastectomy 10 years ago, Dr. P, and just recently found a lump. What are the chances of it being cancer post-mastectomy?
So a preventative mastectomy would mean if it's totally preventative, it means she has a high risk of breast cancer based on family history and or genetic testing, where there's these BRCA genes that are the most common sort of inherited risk factor for breast cancer. So it's obviously it's a really difficult decision, but to decrease the risk of breast cancer, if you have no breasts, you're going to have a lower risk. So she did that, and that's a bold move. It is unfortunately, it's still possible that there's a little bit of breast tissue remaining. Because I'm trying to think when they do basically a prophylactic mastectomy is what we would say, but it's preventive mastectomy. They remove as much breast tissue as possible, but they don't do it as severely as you do once maybe you have breast cancer and you need a mastectomy.
Okay.
So it's a small possibility, and obviously, you don't want to delay at all having that evaluated. It would involve, they would try to do a mammogram if possible, if it's possible to get the lump in between the plates for the mammogram, but ultrasound or other imaging, and almost certainly a biopsy would be done to rule that out.
All right, so there is a chance.
There is, yeah. I have to look
unfortunate.
up. Yeah. I mean, it definitely, it decreases the risk massively because you just have far less breast tissue to potentially go wrong. But yeah, I don't think it's not a 0% risk.
Well, it's good to know. Good to know. Dr. P. Jesus is on the telephone line helping those with questions about their health or lack thereof. And put down the joint now, Dr. P, because Cubby's got a good one for you.
Park and Rec Jesus has had 2 eye surgeries followed by a steroid injection just over a month ago. Last Thursday, something busted in his eye.
Oh.
Now he said the white of his eye looks black. No pain. Should I be concerned?
Oh.
Is that demon possession?
That's what I've seen in the movies. Usually that means you're a hound from hell or something.
Right. I think that is. Yeah, you're either a vampire or a werewolf. I mean, should he be concerned? I would say yes.
Something
I
busted.
guess it's a little hard to know because he didn't say what the surgeries were for, right?
Well, why would someone have steroids injected into their eyes?
I mean, steroids are an anti-inflammatory, so there's some kind of inflammatory process going on in the eye, which could be related to like an autoimmune condition. But I'm just trying to think of why you would have, or you could have eye surgery and then there's inflammation related to that. But yeah, I guess without knowing what exactly is going on, and man, so the sclera, which is the white part of the eye, is black. That's what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I mean, doesn't that happen sometimes when you get socked in the eye? You take a UFC knee to the eye socket. Don't the whites of your eyes sometimes go black? I mean, I know they go red with blood vessels.
Yeah, because you get subconjunctival hemorrhage is when it's
black is not common.
Not really, unless the only thing I can think is maybe it is, it's blood that's old, because that tends to start to look much darker and black, and so there may be some bleeding in there.
Okay, look, the dude sent you a picture, didn't he, Josh? Did you see this yet?
No, I'm not on a different page.
Dude sent in a picture. Well, it looks like he got kicked right in the face.
Ooh.
But anyway, go ahead, Dr. P. It could be old blood.
Well, I guess I'm sort of guessing. I mean, I think he absolutely needs to get back to the eye doctor and say, what the heck's going on here? Because, but it sounds like a very complicated situation because, honestly, having 2 eye surgeries in a short time it's very unusual. If he had a detached retina, or if he had, which would be an emergent surgery, or you could have glaucoma and you're having, the lens replaced and there's complications. It just matters what's going on in the background. But yeah, not a good thing, obviously.
Yeah, I hope he can get that figured out.
Man,
for sure.
I'm glad it doesn't hurt. He said it looks like he got punched, and it sure does. That's what it looks like.
Huh.
Airport. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Airport HVAC Jesus said, can you ask Dr. P what would cause 3 seizures in one day and a loss of 3 days of memory? Woke up in a hospital, all blood tests, MRI, EEG, CT scans came back normal. What gives?
Jesus, crime and
That's scary.
But 3 seizures, though, too.
Yeah, 3 seizures in one day, loss of 3 days of memory.
The seizure part is, there is a thing called transient global amnesia, which I have seen a couple times over the years where somebody suddenly doesn't remember a pretty fixed period of time over a couple of days. And it usually resolves pretty quickly. And I'm just trying to think I think that can be associated with seizures. But if someone's never had seizures, to have 3 seizures in a day seems weird. So there has to be something precipitating that. So whether it's head injury, hopefully this person's had imaging of their head, presumably that would be part of the workup in the hospital, an MRI.
He mentioned all that, yeah.
Yeah, you want to make sure there's no tumor. You want to make sure there's no blood vessel abnormality, like an aneurysm, a weird infection. You can have viral infections that can cause encephalitis, basically, where you've got inflammation of the brain. And those can be some weird viruses and stuff that are hard to pin down. But sometimes it's not obvious, I guess, what caused it. And then it's just, usually you'd be put on anti-seizure meds and monitored for a while. And if it's just a period of amnesia, then that usually you don't have ongoing problems. But it's obviously very disturbing for people.
I'm kind of surprised that he walked out of there, once he went and got looked at. I would have thought the doctors would have said, let's lay you down here for a couple of days till we figure this out.
Yeah, I probably would have asked to stay. Can I
Yeah.
stay here for a while?
I could hear.
I would have been afraid to walk out the door.
Yeah.
Did he say how long he was in the hospital?
Doesn't say, no.
Yeah, I would think it'd be at least a few days, because there would be just an unbelievable number of imaging, blood tests, EEG to look at brain seizure activity, and some of those, and even probably a spinal fluid analysis. Typically, and so some of those tests actually take a very long time to come back. And with weird viral stuff, there's not necessarily anything you can do about it. But some viruses you can. People can have herpes in your spinal fluid, and that.
Man, how the hell did my spine get herpes?
I know. Well, yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure I've ever heard an explanation for that. This is when the family doc who's working in the hospital says, "Hey, neurologist. Hey, infectious disease specialist. Hey, everybody, let's figure out what's going on here, because this is complicated."
Yeah, that is complicated and concerning. I hope whoever it was that sent in that text message gets that friggin' straightened out. Because that would scare the living hell out of me.
Yeah, I think anybody.
Oh, we got time for maybe another one here, Dr. P. This one's kind of funny. It says, my piercing hurts and it leaks yellow. It's my nipple and I regret it.
Yeah, that is sad.
That's not good. Can you offer any advice on treatment for hand, foot, and mouth disease to a parent whose child is stuck in the middle of a case of hand, foot, and mouth disease?
Yeah, there's not a lot you can really do, because it's usually a pretty little kid.
I think they said a 14-year-old. Is that uncommon or something?
Is it really?
Yeah, I could scroll back, but I thought they said 14.
That would be unusual. It can happen to kids that age, I guess, or that's barely a kid anymore. But usually it's little kids that have it. And then sometimes adults or older children in their lives can also get it because it's a viral infection. And basically it has to run its course. Mostly it's just the mouth sores tend to hurt. So using Tylenol or ibuprofen based on, their age and weight. That's probably about it. If they're having absolutely horrible stuff and they're old enough, sometimes we can give sort of a solution of a few different things that numbs the mouth a little bit. You kind of swish it around and then spit it out. Mm-hmm. So I get topical anesthetic and some Maalox and some Benadryl, actually oral Benadryl But yeah, mostly it just has to ride out.
It has to run its course.
Yep. Yeah,
I bet that makes junior high kind of suck.
For sure, yeah, and that is a little bit old for it, but I don't know. In schools, anything's possible. There's a couple follow-ups I should do from earlier that I looked up a couple of things real quick.
Go right ahead, my son.
Sure, the preventative mastectomy. So again, it's done in women who have a very high risk of breast cancer, and they're trying to do everything they can to reduce the risk. it reduces the risk by probably well over 90%, but that means there's still a 10%. Well, or it doesn't eliminate it completely.
Right.
So absolutely it needs to be, looked at aggressively and figured out quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is the blue light filtering glasses. There is basically zero evidence that they help with anything. So they don't help with any eye strain, and they actually don't help prevent sleep problems from looking at computer late at night.
Oh.
So
it is true. Computer light at night with blue does interfere with sleep, but putting on the glasses is not going to prevent that.
It doesn't just look cool.
You got it right.
That's good to know.
Don't look at the screen.
You get your wall-to-wall ass.
Yeah,
is all
I
those
just
glasses.
wear them to get laid.
Related to a previous question here, officially changing my name, Jesus wants to know, he's 48 and he's constantly getting foot-in-mouth disease. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I understand that one.
What's that? What is that yellow coming out of that gal's nipple?
She regrets it, though.
She regrets it. It's a nipple.
Dr. P, before we go, how was pickleball camp?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow! I was hoping maybe you wouldn't ask. No,
really?
no, no, I'm kidding. It was fantastic. Tyson McGuffin is a great guy. We had the first day was perfect. It was great weather. Second day rained, so it kind of was a partial day. But I will say the primary word I came with was humbling.
A lot of good players.
I'm not going to be a pro. Nick was right.
Damn right.
No, but it was a great time. It was worth it. He really is. He is a super dynamic guy, and very interestingly, he has this sort of presence when if you watch matches or when he does these videos on drills and stuff for pickleball, and he's exactly the same in person. It was actually really cool.
Do you think you're a better player after that?
I think I am. I have stuff to work on. You don't get better that fast, but yeah, I think I got some ideas to work on, and that's really what you have to keep doing. But yeah, it was great. It was fun.
Well, good. Glad you had a good time.
Glad you had a good time, Dr. P. Very helpful this morning as usual.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Very helpful. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
All right, Dr. P. Jesus.
There he goes, guys.
On the program and doing his best to straighten folks out.
Happy anniversary to You Betcha Jesus' wife, Sheezus, from You Betcha Jesus. Shout out to Chugged Up Plumber Jesus, driving back to Arizona from Minnesota with his new wife, Mrs. Chugged Up Plumber Sheezus. Happy 42nd to Hardcore Jason Jesus from Hardcore Jason Jesus. Get Bent Jesus said, happy last birthday in your 40s to her fabulous husband, Jeff. And happy 60th birthday to I'm Her Liquor 18-wheeler Australian Kiss Jesus from his sexy wife. She loves her wine and liquor, Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.